Hey,
We're live.
we're live.
After a comedy of errors.
A whole lot of gremlins actually just ran through this place.
Bunch
and
of
attacked
grown men
everything.
that can't handle electronics. What kind of Christmas is this? I'm
What?
just so
It's a
disappointed.
very merry retrograde Christmas, as a matter of fact. That's what
right.
tonight is all about.
You're right.
We're getting ready to run you through a host of special guests this evening. We're also going to be doing a playthrough of Home Alone 2 a little bit later on. But our first guest, I'm really freaking excited about this. We are going to hook up with Ralphie's house in Cleveland, Ohio, straight from A Christmas Story house. They're going to live stream with us here in just a few minutes and give us a tour of the house.
Yeah.
And this is like bucket list.
It's pretty rad.
Total bucket
We
list.
can't be there in person for obvious reasons, but this is like the next best thing for us. Like, good
For real.
time.
Yeah,
good
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to sharing it with you.
Big time lover of the movie. I mean, just
Absolutely.
I've got all kinds. We've got some things on that too to share with you. Some little pieces from our collection that are in the house. So from our house to their house, we're going to stream. But then we're going to Sylvania, Ohio, to talk to Children's Wonderland. I don't know if you've ever heard about that.
No, it sounds like it's out of my realm. I didn't live over there at all.
Well, okay, so you know that I was like before I was an Ohioer, right?
Yeah.
Transplanted here in Missouri, in Warrensburg, Missouri. So, but when I was a kid, right, there was this place, this wonderful place. It's been around for 50 years called Children's Wonderland. And it was just this amazing, like just full of animatronics and lights and that they would put on every year.
Right.
They had some old school Moldoramas and that, so we might talk about that.
Love me
right?
some Moldoramas.
Right? You ever seen
all
those?
over the place.
Those are beautiful. So at any rate, we're going to get into a little bit of that. And then our third guest, 3 guests this evening, Rick Goldschmidt.
Yep.
He'll be returning with us. We had him in what was about 2 years ago. He actually flew in live and came to a convention that we put on.
Right. Retro EX.
Retro EX. So, but Rick is going to pop on. He's the historian for all things Rankin Bass. He's also an author, an illustrator himself, and a mega collector. I don't know if you've ever seen his collection.
Not
you ever seen
personally,
like
no.
pictures?
I've read his books, but
Right.
not personally seen his collection.
Dude, his collection. It was actually on a show called Collector's Call last year in 2019.
That's right.
And they featured
Told me about
I guess they call it the Rick Goldschmidt collection, right? All of these freaking fantastic toys and just signatures, and Rick just has this most amazing like media Americana in the world. It's just something to behold. So we're gonna visit with him here just real shortly.
Well,
So
after our first 2 interviews.
I like that. I like your shirts.
Yeah, I showed you up today. All
That's-
you got on is a tie.
Oh no, I wanted to be classy. I was like that's.
You
not
said
gonna
dress
go with
up.
it. I know.
I look like a fool.
But what? Look at this. I love that right there. That's my jam, right? That's why I'm excited to talk to Rick because of that. So at any rate, that's going to go off for a long time. This thing doesn't stop. It's real annoying, like one of those cards. I don't know if you've ever. Yeah. See, just on and on and on. So, but
I have to hear it for the 100th time. They got to hear it once.
just a little. Boom. There you
right,
go.
all right.
Yeah. Rudolph.
Hopefully we don't get hit with like a copyright thing and it's all muted now.
Immediately, we were all shut down. No more tours for you.
5 seconds in to what was supposed to start, again, 15, 20 minutes ago.
We apologize for that.
We do.
So, to start off the evening, I had a special little gift for you.
Oh, boy.
We don't have any snow, and I know that you
I love snow.
love snow.
My wife hates snow, but secretly, now that I've got a 4-wheel drive vehicle, I'm looking to rip around the streets like a fool. So
I got
typical
you.
Missouri.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get sideways.
Yeah, a little
Got
bit
it.
on the 4-wheel. Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Anyway.
I found this. If you take a step over here, check this
What
out.
have we got? What
So,
have we got here?
I found this can of instant snow. It's a blizzard
Oh.
in a can, is what they claimed. I
It
don't
sounds
know.
like a
Can
lie
you-
in a can.
Can
to
you
me.
see that? Is that too close? Are we in? Okay, right about there.
This is the real world, right?
So yeah, no, look, it's I'm sure that there were scientists that put this together. There's something about like I don't know, water, hydraulics, freezing, stuff like that. They pack that all in that can. So I thought
You
that
said hydraulics?
yeah, something. I don't know. I don't
okay.
understand how they make magic
All right.
snow in a can. I mean,
I
ultimately,
heard it too, right?
there
Okay.
wasn't even any like other than just add
Science.
water. There wasn't anything else on the can, so I don't know how safe this is. So don't
Okay.
try this at home,
Okay.
baby. I don't know, but so I wanted to make you snow if I could. I'm gonna put my mic down for this because. Why are you
got
stepping
it.
back so
You-
far?
You got it.
Why are you stepping back so far?
Well,
This is for you.
If
I
it
wanted.
explodes and worms and,
I-
and whatnot shoot out, I'm gonna be mad.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna
Come
start
on.
a fire or anything like
I
that.
just
It's a
I'm
blizzard.
stepping
That's
back
cold.
in case it's something
cold stuff.
spring loaded. Go ahead.
Fine. There's not. No.
You don't need me over there for that.
Oh,
All right.
oh,
All right. All right. Okay. This is real.
this-
Something's happening.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
some sort of packaging in here.
okay.
We got a spoon. Can we get a shot of this?
It came with a little spoon.
That is a. Are you sure this isn't contraband?
I don't see how you fit a blizzard in that little packet.
Oh, it's a blizzard
like
of
that.
some
like,
sort.
I just don't understand. That's like how do you? Anyways. Okay, so we're
Breaking
supposed to
Bad,
open-
Warrensburg.
We're supposed to open this up here, right?
Do you got to crumple that up or anything? It's really
yeah,
packed.
I'm
You
gonna
gonna
do
spread
that,
that out?
yeah.
Do some science
I'm
here.
gonna spread it out a little
Science, Mr. White.
bit. What? Okay.
I don't mean to criticize, but this isn't very instant.
You right? That's true. Not instant at all.
Well, I mean-
you've gone through like 4 steps at this point.
Have you ever gotten
Step
instant,
one, open
instant
can.
ice before? You
Step
just have
two,
to add water
sketchy
and then
packaging.
put it in the freezer. So, I mean, but you don't have to put this in the freezer. You just add the water.
All right. Science. Here we go.
Okay, we're adding science here.
Do we have to stir it?
I'm gonna give
Did
it a
you
little
even read the
stir. Yeah, I
instructions?
did. There weren't very many instructions.
There
Oh,
are
look
no
at that. No,
instructions.
look, it's still
Whoa!
going.
It's doing something here. Here,
going.
let's get the camera.
We're making snow, I guess.
Oh, I think you just made a slushy.
No, that's.
You just added way too much water.
Whoa, gosh, that doesn't smell like snow.
Oh, hold
at
up.
all. Oh, there we go.
Oh, hold up.
There it is.
Ooh, it's
Look, dude, see?
strangely
You see?
hot.
It's just like the snowball you kept in your freezer for like those 2 months.
It's like a Sonic slushy.
Right, exactly. Hold up. I bet you it goes more.
Dude,
let's,
it does stink.
Let's make some more snow. Here we go. All the water. All the water. Yeah. Here, let me get. Oh,
It's
There you
like
go.
that weird. You know those things that they
I
put
give you
in.
snow.
You're right. It's a kind of snow. We'll say.
Okay, sure. It's a kind of snow. It's
gonna
the
call
only
it
snow we're gonna get
compressed
on this time of
silicone.
year, and so here it is for you.
Is it edible? I want to know if I can eat it.
Look, I had another point for
Oh,
this.
gross.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's sort of like slime. Like
It's
all
like
the kids
a
at home.
It's like
They would dig that.
granular
oh, is it like the
jello.
granule?
Yeah. It's
Oh.
like the stuff they put
But
in
see,
jerky
look at
bags.
it. Look. Get it. You got a tight shot of that? Can you get a tight shot of that somehow? I mean, it looks like that. Looks like
Oh,
snow.
get the autofocus. Hang on. We got this.
Look at that. Look at that.
Autofocus.
That looks
Yeah.
amazing. That looks amazing. Right?
It's-
snow.
It's chilly, but it's not like ice cold. It's probably just the temperature of the water, the tap water.
Well, sure, but I mean, for inside snow and a blizzard no less. I bring you a blizzard. That's pretty amazing. It's not. Well, it's just one of those
look
things.
at this physique. Who do you think we're kidding here?
So there's another point though to all of this. Oh, see, I knew that was going to happen too. So
You gave me snow.
we're gonna end up taking that outside. You just wait. That's because I'm gonna keep.
right.
I'm gonna keep like a snowball this year in my freezer for
It's
like
gonna
until,
become a rock. You
until
can't
the
do
mi-
that. That's
oh,
cheating.
in July.
That's cheating.
July when you least expect it. Right, poop, right in the kisser. So, but there's another reason that I wanted to like show all this snow because it is coming and the weather is turning really cold. And tonight, as a part of this stream, we are taking all of the goods that we've got, the cold weather gear, personal items, and stuff like that, and we're getting that to Refuge on Ming. Oh, I don't know if I'd eat that. I don't know how.
I'm sorry to steal that moment.
Do we need to call the ambulance?
No.
Already, that's a bad.
Let's show them while I go rinse my mouth out. Let's show them the gift we're giving. To the
So
household.
we've got a bunch of stuff, and I don't know where you're watching from in that, but if you aren't around here and aren't some of the patrons and our special guests that help out around here and that donate in that, right here are some of the wonderful things that you could pick up for the homeless. So, like for instance, we've got gloves, right? These are some isotoners and that. All kinds of like for instance Band-Aids, personal care items such as deodorant. Cold weather gear right now is very important in that, and so we really like and are amazed with our partner Refuge with Ming and all of the work that they do.
You just lost power. Oh,
And all the work that they do in that. And so we would ask that wherever you are, that you would please donate to your local organizations, and we thank all of our patrons and all the people that put into Retrograde for raising all of this stuff and bring it to you. We can't wait to get it to the Refuge on Ming and get it to the people that need it. So please, at home, get involved. Now, in just a few minutes, we are going to hook up. Oh, he's ready. Oh,
sweet.
It's that time.
Oh, man.
That's that time. Are you ready?
I'm so excited.
So I've been waiting my whole life. Just recently, for our collection down here, I got an autograph of Ian Patella. I don't know if you know that actor and that, but that's the little brother in A Christmas Story.
I can't move
I can't put my arms down. I got a picture of him in that classic pose. So, but we are really excited to hook up here with.
Hold up, before we go with him, do you want to show him this?
Oh, I was gonna
sweet piece I found in.
Yeah, I want to show this. I want to show this to the tour guy here. That the tour guy.
Let's show our audience real
okay.
quick.
So, a long time ago, this is another reason that we're so excited here. I don't know if you can see this. I want to try to get a tight little shot of this. So this was just a little statue that we found. But it was actually from A Christmas Story and A Christmas Story house that you're getting ready to view. And so, but on the back, this was what I was so amazed and so stoked with. On the back there's a little relief of the house, and you'll notice right down here in the corner, right there, that is a little piece of the house. So as we're touring their house, Ryan and I are going to hold this so that we can feel like we're actually there in their house. But I wanted to share that with our tour guide too. So, are we ready to? All righty.
Oh man,
we're gonna give this a try here. Cody.
Oh,
Cody.
Hello. Uh-oh. Oh,
hey, there we are.
It is.
How are you?
Hang on, we got to turn the TV up. The Zoom audio is going through the TV.
Sure. We're going to turn you up here just a little bit, sir. How are you in Cleveland, Ohio?
We're doing good. How are you in
Warrensburg, Missouri? We're doing great. So, awesome. So, Cody, as I understand it, you're a...
Brian, keep him busy. Just
sure.
1 second. We got another little technical difficulty.
Sure.
His audio's not going to our audience. We can talk to him.
Hold up, we gotta take care of your audio.
We can chat with him for a second.
If everybody out there can hear me. That's right. We've had a little gremlins on our end here tonight, so getting in the way of our merriment. So we're just busting right through, though. So, how we doing there, guys? Just one moment. Go ahead and say something, Cody.
Hello.
Hey.
We good?
I believe so. We
All
could
right.
hear you, but the audience couldn't hear you, and we wanted to make sure that they could hear you. That's for sure.
That's definitely helpful.
So,
All right.
so if
I like technical difficulties.
if you're just catching,
don't
we
we
finally
all?
got those gremlins out. So we're here with Cody, and he is coming in live from Ralphie's house, a
Yep.
Christmas Story house. Yes.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, Ohio. Cody, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I'm a tour guide here. I bring groups of people through the house, telling them the background of how the movie became to be, but also why they chose this house specifically.
Really?
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that. Let's start there. That sounds really interesting. Why did they choose that location?
So this house was picked all by accident. They intended to do the entire movie in Canada on a soundstage in Toronto. The only reason they came out to Cleveland was because they needed the department store for when Ralphie goes and meets Santa.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't find any place in Toronto, so they put out a search across the United States, leads them here to Cleveland because a department store that used to be known by the name of Higbee's was the only one that was big enough to let them film there, but also keep their Christmas decorations up after Christmas into the new year. While the build crew is building that giant Santa Mountain, Gene Shepard, the author and screenplay writer, and then the director, Bob Clark, take the camera crew on like a sightsee of Cleveland. Uh, the movie's based off Gene Shepard's childhood, and he wanted to find the steel mills, which are behind the house. And he didn't take directions, made a wrong turn, stumbled along this neighborhood. They noticed that this neighborhood's kind of underdeveloped, still looks like it's stuck in the 40s, which is convenient because that's when the movie takes place.
Sure.
And then this house looked like it was still set in the 40s with the wooden fence, looked exactly like Gene Shepard's house. They go to the door, knock. Nobody's actually home. They eventually find the owner across the street at the bar and just ask him straight up, "Can we shoot at your house?" And he does not want them anywhere near this house when they first ask him. So they buy him a couple shots and a few more. And after an hour of that, they ask him again, give him $20,000 this time. And without hesitation, he lets them film here in this house for about 11 weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
That's fantastic. What room are you in?
I'm currently in Randy and Ralphie's bedroom.
Oh, get out of here.
That's so cool.
You want to see it?
Is it, didn't people used to be able to stay there, right, on occasion?
Yeah, you still can.
Really? Get out of
Yep.
here.
Mm.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bucket list. How do you do that? How do you get to stay in the house?
Basically, you would just go on our website, and we have a whole section where you can rent out this house. We have a second and third floor property you can rent here. But then in 2018, we expanded and bought up another house, turned that into our version of the Bumpus's house, and we also let people rent that out as well.
Oh, wow.
That's super rad.
That's fantastic. So you're in their bedroom right now,
Yes, I am.
upstairs. So how much have they restored certain parts of the house to look like the original set, and then how much of it is also like museum? I'm sure that I was kind of looking at some of the pictures in that online. You know, you've got the rifle correct in a case, and,
Yes.
and some things like that.
So the house itself is doesn't have any of the original props or costumes in it. It's set up to look like it was back in the 40s with all authentic props and costumes and toys and stuff from the 40s.
Fantastic.
But because we don't have anything from the movie specifically in this house, we actually let people interact with everything. They can pick up the BB gun. They can hold the leg lamp. They can, if they want to, they can wear a bunny suit and bring it through the house. Yeah. And then once we're done in here having all the fun and playtime, we take them to the museum so they can see all the actual stuff that's all locked up behind the glass.
Do you have a particularly favorite item in the museum there?
The favorite item. So it's actually some Playboys.
Really?
Yes. So Gene Shepard wrote a book. It's entitled "In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash."
Yep.
That's what the movie's based off of. Before he was able to publish this book, he was sending his work literally everywhere. No book publications wanted to take it. No magazines wanted to take it. No newspapers. The only place that actually took his work was Playboy. So in the 70s, in the late 70s, I believe there's about 4 or 5 issues of Playboy magazine with different stories from this book. Some of them turned into a Christmas story are in actual Playboys.
That's crazy. What a unique, what a unique venue for that.
That is a unique fact in general. I had no idea that was a thing.
I actually,
That's incredible.
I have a copy of Gene Shepard's book, "In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash." Yeah, that I've had for years, and that's it. Really kind of expands on the world that everybody knows as a Christmas story, and that there's a lot of little anecdotes and stories in there that I found really appealing, and just hilarious in some respects. So, so what's it like for you to work in Christmas 24/7?
It was definitely an adjustment. Playing Christmas music 24/7 and it always decorated with Christmas. Definitely wasn't used to it. But over time, seeing like the effect that this place has on other people is amazing. And that definitely made me realize that Christmas is fine 24/7 year round.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, we have another kind of crazy question for you. It's a little bit off topic, but we like to ask.
All right.
What was your favorite toy growing up? Say around
favorite
12
toy.
years old, 11, 12 years old, that kind of magic time.
The prime
Ooh.
time.
The prime time.
Where you're like, oh
So-
yeah, this is the greatest
gotta
thing
have
ever,
it,
and will
Ma.
never go out of style.
That was
Pogs.
only about 13 years ago for me. So honestly, I think it was a Game Boy. I think that's probably what my favorite toy growing up.
Right on.
Grew up in the digital age, I guess is
Yeah.
what you want to call it.
We've got a crazy collection of all kinds of Nintendo and old school
Mhm.
consoles and stuff here and that. So
Yeah.
we just recently for Christmas got the
The Game and Watch
Yeah.
with the Super Mario Brothers on it.
Yeah.
Have you played that thing
Spectacular.
yet? It's
I have
literally
not. I
pixel
thought about
perfect.
it, but
it's
I-
pixel
it's
perfect. Yes.
great. It feels like a little NES controller. It tells you the time
Mhm.
you can play Super Mario Brothers, the first one, right? But then
Yeah.
the second one, the Lost Levels as well, is included on it. So it's like
I didn't know
the
they
epitome
had
of
both
Super
of them.
Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah. It's got that, and then it has the old school
Oh yeah, the
Game and
the
Watch
ball.
game too,
Yeah.
the ball game.
Yeah.
So you should check that out if you get a chance. But so, is there a way for you to kind of lift the camera up there, just kind of show us the
Yeah,
room?
you
a
want to
little
see
bit?
the bedroom?
Yeah, please,
All
let's
right,
do.
so I'm gonna get behind it. So let's see if we can. So these are the
Can you throw
beds.
this
I
up
don't know
full
if
screen
you
for
can.
the-
If you
the
can't
audience
see
there,
me,
like
direct
switch
me in which
positions?
way. So these are the beds. They're not set up to be slept in right now.
Sure.
Basically, this is how they look like in the movie. So we have them set up like this for touring. If the people want to stay here, they can actually sleep in these beds as well. So
Get
we
outta here.
take all the prop stuff off, put on actual stuff so they can sleep here. We have a bunch of old Red Rider books throughout the house.
Oh,
Basically, that's
man.
exactly what Ralphie wanted for Christmas, the Red Rider BB gun. We actually have one of the boxes for the Red Rider BB gun here in the corner.
Ah.
Yeah. If we can, there we go. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then on the back side, we got a bunch of old books and different items that would have been around in the 40s, bunch of encyclopedias, old toys, bunch of old blocks, really old Monopoly board. This one's probably my favorite thing. It's called the Schmoky Pokey.
the
and-
Schmoky Pokey.
Yeah,
Get
I
outta here.
don't know if you could see that.
Ah.
This was actually donated to us by some fans. They made it. They grew up in that time period, and they actually donated it to us, and we have it on display here.
That's
super cool.
spectacular.
Super cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So so tell us a little bit more. Like when did the museum start there? When did that all get its start?
So we opened up in 2006. Our current owner, Brian Jones, actually bought the house off eBay in 2004. They were asking 100,000. He told them, "I'll give you 150,000. Take it off the site right now," and that's exactly what he did.
Wow.
He then buys it, goes back and watches the movie a bunch of times, frame by frame, to make sure that the house here looks exactly the same to the scenes that were filmed here. And he put about just under $300,000 into it, basically unrenovating the entire house and putting it back to
Sure.
the way it looks in the 40s.
That's spectacular.
Yep.
So, and could you say that year again for me that you started?
2006 is when we bought it. Well, we
2006.
opened. We opened.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the year I
Yeah.
graduated.
That was the year you
Good
graduated.
Lord, yeah.
How many times have you seen A Christmas Story? Do you think? Like,
Oh man, when TBS used to, do they still do the 24-hour run? When
Ye-
I was a kid,
yes.
they do the
Yes.
24-hour run, right? I'm
Yep.
pretty sure I watched pretty much every
Every-
24 hours on that, or at least caught it a couple times in that,
Yeah.
that run. So I'm 33 almost.
so at least
A bunch. Let's multiply that. Do some math in our heads that I can't do. Lots. I've watched the movie a lot.
right on.
All right.
Well, is there any other details you'd like to tell us before we piece out on this? I'm sure you got to get going. You've been working all day, so
Yeah. Let's see. What other fun fact? So, you guys are retro people, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
you know of the movies Porky's and Porky's
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't know about them until I started working here. Without those movies, along with Playboy, this movie never actually gets made. Basically, Bob Clark was the director of those movies. He falls in love with Gene Shepard's stories and tells MGM he will literally do anything to make this movie. And they tell him, "You make us Porky's 2, we will give you a budget." They gave him a very tiny budget of about $2.8 million. So they had that's the main reason they went to Canada, because it's a lot cheaper to film there.
Right.
But yeah, without Porky's, this movie does not actually come to be made because they don't have a budget for
That's
it.
crazy.
That is,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, I'm thankful.
Like if someone not you had told me that, I'd be like, "You're full of it." Like,
There's no way.
At all. And then I'd be all over my phone. Let me look that up. That's
because
not
it's it's
true.
Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
Right,
Certainly,
Right.
that's spectacular.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. So,
I-
go ahead.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, how many of the actors have come through too and revisited the house while you guys have been open, or since then? Just out of curiosity.
Almost all of them.
Mhm.
Peter Billingsley, Ralphie, is the only main actor who has never actually been here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Zach Ward, Ian Patella,
Yes.
all those kind of
Yep.
guys.
Zach
Zach
Ward's
Ward is
been
a
here.
spectacular human being.
Yes, he is.
He-
Yes, he
I
is.
couldn't say enough nice things
Mhm.
about him. So he really
Yeah.
is a spectacular human being.
Yes,
But
he is.
most of the cast in that from the movie were, as they've gotten
Yeah, Zach's
grown up.
probably my favorite out of the cast.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out.
Hold
Of course.
Oh,
I have some.
Oh, you
questions.
got
You've
some
been just
questions
driving
too?
this whole time.
sorry, I got
Hang on.
excited.
I just got some
Alright.
off the cuff questions for you. I see that you
Okay.
got a Turtles COVID mask.
Oh
on.
God, I know where this
yeah.
is going.
So I see that you like the Turtles. Out of the 4 Turtles, which Power Ranger is the best?
It's green.
You're right.
Green, you're right. He
Yeah,
says
absolutely.
That's
That's
you're
that is the
absolutely
answer
right.
That-
Green Power
I'm a
Ranger.
fan of the White Ranger and
Sure.
everything, but
Sure.
green was where it was at. You were
Yeah.
afraid for those Power Rangers, and then he joined the team and kicked just everybody's butt left and right.
Sure.
Heck yeah,
Exactly.
awesome.
What about favorite turtle?
What is your favorite turtle? That's my follow-up question.
So I knew getting this mask. My mom bought it for me. I'm not the hugest fan of the turtles. I get this question a lot because of the mask. I would probably say Leonardo, mainly because I know the Renaissance connection and I love Leonardo da Vinci. So therefore, Leonardo. Nothing to do with the turtles, but I'm just gonna go with that.
Right on.
I would have said because of the swords. That was my choice.
Yes, swords are also great.
Right on.
Right on.
Any other questions?
That's it, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you for showing us
course.
this.
Of
It's
course.
been on like something I've been looking forward to for about a week now. So
Yeah.
real excited. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll get to come your way after all this craziness is over and
Yeah.
come
Of
see the
course.
house, and hopefully we can have you come this way sometime. I know you
I-
said you wanted to visit after kind
Yeah,
of checking
like
it
I,
out,
I was
so-
doing research on you guys when I found out about this, and your whole museum just seems like such an interesting place that I need to be at least once.
Right on. Well, hopefully
appreciate that.
when this is you can come down and visit us. So
All
thanks
right.
for taking time.
pleasure's on us.
Thanks for
welcome.
showing us around a little bit in that, and we appreciate it.
Oh.
Make sure and check out A Christmas Story House on their website. They're also on Facebook and that. They also have a live stream from across the house.
Yeah.
John and I were checking that out today, watching people drive by and that. So
Yeah,
it was kinda
today
like
was
being
definitely the best day to look because it's the busiest we've been this entire COVID thing.
Sure.
So today was definitely a good look of how many people normally come here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once again. We appreciate
very
your
welcome.
time.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully
right.
we can hang out with you someday. So,
All right.
alrighty, take care.
Thank you.
You as
We'll
well.
catch you soon.
All right.
So that was pretty freaking cool. Like,
Yeah, I've actually felt a little bit like a little shaky, you know. Like,
Oh, I
wow,
forgot-
I'm really seeing this room.
I forgot to touch.
We didn't
touch the
it.
house.
We weren't there.
That's
It-
right.
it hung up. It's
Oh.
we goofed.
Okay, I'm
We
touching the
goofed.
house right there. That's what's happening. Boom,
We
boom. We're
connected.
there.
We connected.
We're connected with it.
What we
That's
just-
fantastic. So, coming up next, here real shortly, we're gonna get on the line here
Get
with
on the horn
Dave Spees. So, and he's from Children's Wonderland up in Sylvania and that.
Mhm.
So, but we're gonna take just a quick little break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Please.
Hey,
We're back.
we're back.
Merry, 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 Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah too, by the way, to all the folks out there. So we're getting ready to have a little conversation here with something that's pretty close to my heart from when I grew up in
Yeah,
Ohio.
this is a big one for you.
Oh, it's a real big one. It's so big that like on eBay, I had to get on eBay and get a mold-a-rama that I used to have when I was a kid. And so like it's coming. We're gonna share a picture of it a little bit later. But it was a little reindeer. It said Children's Wonderland on it, right? And so, but you went through this. I can't even. I hope that I think our guest is going to be able to describe
Right.
what it is. Again, we're going to share their website and that so you can look them up too. But they are a 50-year tradition. So, do we have David Spees on the horn here?
Get him in.
Get him in. Let's talk to David. David, Mr. Spees. I think he's coming here.
Here
Just
he comes.
Mr. Spees.
How are you, sir?
We
Uh-oh.
can't hear you.
David Spees is connecting to audio and can't hear you just yet either. Hang on, he's connecting.
Here we go.
It says on his end that he's connecting to audio. Here we go. Can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are, David. Hello. Woo.
Yeah.
How are you this evening?
Good at this.
Greetings from Sylvania, Ohio.
Hello. Merry Christmas to you. A little early. We were getting a hold of you today to talk about Children's Wonderland, and you were going to share some of the history in that. We're going to be sharing some of the pictures in that of Children's Wonderland. Can you hear us, David?
I can. I'm getting a little bit of double feedback here. Give me a moment.
Sure. No problem.
All right. That better?
Better.
Good.
Yes.
I think so. I think that's working.
So,
Okay.
David, tell us what you do with Children's Wonderland.
I'm a volunteer.
You're a volunteer. How long have you volunteered?
Well, a bit of history with Children's Wonderland, as you indicated. It's about a 55, 56-year-old tradition in the Toledo area, in the Toledo area.
Sure.
And for probably the first 45 years, it was held at the Lucas County Recreation Center. I think, Brian, that's where you remember visiting and sharing with me the other day
Yeah.
some of your childhood memories. But in 2008, when the recession hit, the county couldn't continue to maintain that. So they transferred it out to the Sylvania Recreation Department, and we've been hosting it for the last 10 or 15 years. So actually for the last 10 years.
Wow.
At any rate, believe it or not, when I was in college, I did work down there in the early 70s. I was quote unquote a security person. I walked around and make sure that the youngsters weren't damaging the exhibits. And then when they came into the concession area, I got to sweep up some of the spilled popcorn. So I've had probably about 40 years worth of history with Children's Wonderland. And it's just been a tremendous experience. It's a very valued resource and a tradition in the Toledo area.
I know growing up that that was something that we looked forward to every year because, and occasionally you could see Santa there, of course. But you could walk through all of the exhibits and that, all the animatronics and that. I know you guys have added to that too, and over time, and maybe change some of the things out. But do you still have some of the older items in that from way back that you put out and display? Some of the older exhibits.
Yes, we do. If you remember the Candyland as an example, or the kaleidoscope with the big telescope, and we still may have some of the Martians that were part of the exhibit. And as you and I were reminiscing the other day too, at the very end, we did have the nativity scene, and that still plays a very big part in the exhibition. And by chance, do you remember the electric train?
Yes.
They used to run around under tracks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That is a much sought after experience for the kids and even the parents. Maybe they had that experience when they were kids, and you can just see them with gleams in their eye as they reminisce about them experiencing that, and then the pleasure of seeing their own children sharing it these days.
I know because of COVID, the decision was made not to be, or you couldn't open up this year. We're still not open here from our house. We've been closed since February and just kind of running our programs in that. But are you looking forward to maybe being able to do that this next year and kind of gearing up for that? Or what do you think
Yeah.
the future is at the moment?
Well, most definitely. We have every intention of being back again next year, COVID permitting. And with the vaccine and some other things, hopefully we have the light at the end of the tunnel. But it is our desire right now to reopen Children's Wonderland a year from now. And at that point in time, we're probably working on 56 or 57 years of that exhibit
Wow.
being part of the Toledo community.
That's fantastic. So the other day we were talking when it was in its old location.
Yes.
You would walk through all of the exhibits, and I didn't realize this as a kid, but it was up by the Toledo Mud Hens, right up by the stadium itself. And
Yes.
so you would end at the concession stand, basically, correct?
Yes, is we were chatting when you came out to the concession area, it was actually the concession area for Toledo Mud Hens, pretty much behind home plate at the old Ned Skelton Stadium in Maumee at the Lucas County Recreation Center.
That's crazy. I know that you had like, oh gosh, like 3 or 4 different Moldorama machines, uh,
Yes.
which was one of the things that as a kid I got. It was a little reindeer. That's what I had to get on eBay and get right. It says Children's Wonderland. So I also lucked out and got a snowman too. So it was like a twofer.
lot?
Yeah, in the same
Nice,
lot.
nice.
It was like a
Lucky man.
twofer. But a lot of people collect those. I know that there's a whole group actually out there that is really into Moldorama and that. And so some of those old molds from Children's Wonderland, people trade them back and forth, and they're highly collectible, not just for the memories they had, but for the the material being a Moldorama. But you guys don't have any more of those right now. I know that those machines are kind of hard to find in that. But what about some of the new stuff that you've added over time? And in your new facility, how are you laying all that out? Like
Well,
what's a regular go at it? Like when you go to set up for this, what kind of time does it take you? What
we have staff people working 12 to 15 hours a day for 5 days straight. The facility that we hold this in is in an indoor athletic facility, indoor soccer, lacrosse, things like that. So literally, as soon as we shut down maybe an indoor soccer game at 10 o'clock, we got people coming in, putting down the plastic floor. And then as soon as that floor is down, then we start rolling in with the forklifts and other things. All the exhibits,
wow.
they're in crates, they have to be uncovered, unpacked. The trees and things like that have to be pruned, reshaped, etc. And literally, it's all hands on deck for 4 to 5 days. And then we have a preview party Thursday evening, and then it's open to the public for anywhere from a 2.5 to probably a 3 week run, depending upon how the calendar falls, and then what the plans are for resuming the indoor athletic contest soon after the first of the year. So it's a 4 to 5 day setup and probably another 5 to 6 tear down. Very, very, very intense. And it's a pretty large exhibition hall, wide corridors. So there's a lot of room to move around and look at the various exhibits.
That's spectacular. So you have to bring in a false floor for this and the whole bed, and then unpack everything, and it takes that long to, and then pack it all up after. That's got to be sad a little bit on the back
It's
end of that.
bittersweet. It's bittersweet.
So can you tell me a little about like how this got started, how those exhibits started coming together? Was it something the city of Toledo did way back when, or how did that work?
I can't speak to its origination. I'm going to speculate it was probably 1964 or 1965. But at that point in time, we had a very active recreation department in Lucas County.
Sure.
Unfortunately, as time has gone on and municipalities continue to experience budget crunches, recreation and parks and things like that seem to be the first that really gets hit upon with their reducing the budgets. But the county was they were wonderful caretakers of it over that 45-year period of time. But as I said, just the slowness of the economy and the demands on municipalities kind of caught up to it. So it was because of the recession in 2008, it was scheduled to be mothballed during the winter of 2009. One of our local DJs got a hold of that and kind of spearheaded an effort to set it up on a much smaller scale basis at what was called Erie Street Market. And ironically, my daughter Laura wound up running it that year. So it kind of
Runs in
went
the
full
family.
circle in the family. My working at it 40 years ago, her managing it for that 1 year, and then just being part of the recreation board, it coming out to Sylvania. And I'm just one of many volunteers, board members, full-time employees, et cetera, that have really embraced the Children's Wonderland exhibit and continue to make it available in the Toledo community.
I was pretty amazed that it was so important when that all went down and the recession and that and it was so important to everybody to keep it going that literally it was transferred for $1 in order to to keep it alive, keep it alive. So all those exhibits and that, I mean, people could have, you had said that before. I mean, people could have sold it off. They could have pieced it out and got rid of it. But it is such a staple up there year after year and generation after generation. And I mean, I certainly know what it meant to me growing up. Like that was Christmas, like Rudolph, and that's Christmas, going and seeing all of that and being a part of it. And I know for my parents had gone there and they got to take us, you know, and my grandparents had taken them. And I mean, so all those generations in that sharing in that moment, I really appreciate all of the hard work that all your volunteers do in putting into that and putting that on and keeping it alive. Obviously that's something that's really close to our hearts and our passion is keeping some of these older things like our arcades and stuff alive and going and getting to share that with the world, you know? So we really appreciate from the bottom of our hearts that you guys have continued in that mission and with that spirit and bringing a little cheer into the world. So that's important. But we appreciate you coming and visiting. We're going to share, because it couldn't be up this year, we're going to share pictures, you know, online and that and the website and that so people can stay tuned and be informed possibly for this next year. Honestly, if Ryan and I could go and travel, I'd like to take him to go see that or whatever. So we like to, you know, hang out and do those kinds of things. We're big kids ourselves. So we appreciate you coming in with us tonight and telling us a little bit of history of Children's Wonderland, and we wish you the best of luck in this next year. And yeah, good luck and hopefully we can all return to seeing that wonderful display.
Absolutely. And as my good friend Santa Claus says, my work here is done. Merry Christmas, and to all, a good night.
Good night, sir. Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Catch you.
Take care.
So we're gonna share some of the pictures in that from.
We're gonna try. We're gonna go to quick, tiny little maybe smooth animation. It's probably not gonna be a smooth animation. It might just be something that says "Stay tuned" for just like a split second, and then we're gonna roll through the website, show off some pictures, and we'll probably do some overdubbing.
Yes.
The magic of the microphones here.
Wiki, wiki.
And we can talk about some of the cool stuff that we were just talking about.
Yeah. So
right. Stay
stay tuned.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, David.
So real quick, this is the little Moldorama that Brian was talking about. Oh, we got a gift from Zoom. Thanks, Zoom. But this is the Moldorama that Brian got when he was a little boy. Just a little wee guy in the old Moldorama toy. Moldorama machine, excuse me.
This is a picture in our collection that we just recently got. That's Ian Patella, the actor, Randy, in the classic "I Can't Put My Arms Down."
Can't move, Mom.
Put them down when you get to school. So I have been looking for Zach Ward's autograph.
Hey, didn't you get that a
I
while ago?
actually no. So
Oh,
I did a
well,
thing for my I did a thing for my
Cred
wife though. Like this is how great Zach Ward is. Like I did a thing for my wife. I got a hold of Zach Ward out of the blue, and I said, "Hey, do you believe in love?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." And I'm like, "Can you give me like take a picture of you holding a little sign that just says Brian loves Sarah, kind of thing, right?" He did it. Like instantly and sent that. So
That's so awesome.
it was a picture online, you know what I mean? But like he didn't even question. He was a spectacular human being. But he does a lot against bullying every year too, which is one of the reasons I love him. He's done a campaign for years on anti-bullying.
That's solid.
And he was pretty vicious in that movie with Ralphie. Like very
Up until he got his butt.
well.
kicked,
That's
which
that's
is what I remember the most.
fair.
Ralphie goes ham is like
Fraggle, friggle, fraggle, waggle, braggle, braggle, zabak, out. Yeah, and he's going crazy and totally tagging him in the
solid.
Yeah. So that was a little bit different. But I've been wanting to. This is one of those autographs that I've been wanting to get for years, and that to add to our collection. Like the Grinch. We've got a Grinch cartoon production cell actually, and I also have Cindy Lou Who. The original Cindy Lou Who from the Grinch. We've got her autograph too here in the museum. So a fair amount of Rankin Bass toys and whatnot. But we were on a hunt to try to collect the whole family. I'd like to get Ralphie's autograph and that, but Ian Patella, thank you very much. That's him right there. So this right here is just a little promo picture for Children's Wonderland. We just got done talking to Dave Spees that we wanted to. Oh, there we go. That we wanted to show off.
That's as big as it's gonna be. We're sorry.
Well, it's a really wide shot to kind of give you a scope of all these exhibits, right?
Yeah,
they are full on like children's sizes. You know what I mean? Like for little kids. Like they're just at the right height and level on that for the magic. And but that gives you kind of just one little block of it. All of the animatronics and buildings and lights and that they pack in to that. It really is a wonder. There's not a lot of scenes quite like this left. You know what I mean in the world. Most of them are sort of like in the old days of like Montgomery Wards and all the older stores and that.
Man, I didn't see any of that stuff when I was
so-
a kid, man. It's way beyond.
I know
my
it's
time.
it's
I was a mall Santa, Kmart
Mall
Santa.
Santa.
Guy. Get your picture taken, and you leave with a keychain of that picture. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's
yeah,
all I ever saw.
yeah.
We got
Do
to
you-
go to like some. You know what we did when I was a kid? We drove through the neighborhood and looked at other people's houses.
Well, yeah,
that was our Christmas show.
we did that too. We did that a lot.
We
like,
admired their hard work and whatnot. Not to say that like, oh, we didn't have Christmas lights, we didn't have Christmas, but like that was our entertainment.
well, I'm talking about like you remember in A Christmas Story when Ralphie goes to to yeah, it was Higbee's actually, wasn't it? And he goes to the store, and in their front window they would set up that Christmas display of just bacchanalia, right, and merriment and all kinds of toys, and that's where he sees the Red Rider,
Right.
that kind of thing. It gives you, I mean, it's the same kind of animatronics that you saw a lot of times in those old windows and that. I just always thought it was really genius. Oh, here's another really great shot of that. I think some of this is a little bit. Some of the newer parts of the exhibit and that they've added.
To be quite honest, scenes like this, and I relate this to like Home Alone 2 when Kevin goes through that toy store and it's all decked out and there's great big.
Oh yeah.
I always thought that was just movie magic, man. I didn't know stuff like this existed. I didn't go to stuff like this when I was a kid. That's super cool.
Right, like
that's super cool. Well, have to check that out. Hopefully next year. Hopefully things level out and we can.
Right.
See some neat stuff
for me as a kid, it was like going to the big city. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't doubt
that
it.
wasn't that we didn't have that necessarily in our little town. Warrensburg, though, actually, of all the towns I've lived in, they do a lot
It's
for
funny
Christmas.
that you mentioned Warrensburg because just outside our town here, Powell Gardens does a festival of lights as well that is actually really rad.
Yeah.
I take my family to it. I'm going to go this year, actually.
Oh, right on. Is it
Yep.
drive-through or do you
No,
walk through?
Walk through that.
Walk through it. Right on.
Hopefully it's not as blisteringly cold as it was last year, but they got some of the special hot chocolate there that warms you up inside. It's
Sure.
so warm. So you feel good and you have a good time. It's
Yeah.
a good time to look at Christmas lights with your family.
Right. You can never go wrong with that, really. I mean, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is my favorite time of the year. I'm a Christmas junkie.
Yeah, you are.
Huge Christmas junkie. So in a little bit, I want to share. I've got an actual copy of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, signed by the author Ralph May. I want to kind of share that with everybody out there and let them take a look.
I'll give you 15 minutes to read that to the.
Okay, we
to
could
the
do that.
children out
We
there.
could do that. We could read Rudolph to.
Yeah, I'll give
Anybody
you 15.
that's-
I'll
all
give you
right.
a solid 15.
All right. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
Gotta get you sitting next to the fireplace. Robe on.
So, if you ever get a chance to make it up to Sylvania, Ohio, I actually have family there, by the way, too. So hello to my family if you're
Thunderfox,
watching.
hold up.
Oh.
Thunderfox here said on the chat, has anyone been to Christmas in the Park at Longview Lake? Is that over by Windsor over there? I think that's the one over there, that one at the end of the Katy Trail.
It's a drive-through lights display? Is that what he's saying? Is that?
Yeah, I think.
Get out of here! I
think
haven't been there.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Really, we might have to check that out. That might be fun for this year to be able to go through and drive through and see some lights.
Okay, yes. I have been to that one, and it is awesome. That one is a drive-through. That's the other one we like to do. We do that one, and then Powell Gardens.
That's fantastic.
There's one in Windsor, too, at the end of the Katy Trail as well. I can't. Farrington Park.
Farrington
Park
Park.
has an amazing light display that you walk through. You walk around the lake, and it's got just a bunch of stuff.
So out in Sylvania, right? If they're ever down that way, they could check that out, and hopefully, if we're up that way, we could check them out.
Right.
We should do a Christmas tour. We just go around, like hit
one month out of the year. What month should that be? January?
I don't know. What must? Oh yeah, Christmas. It's in December.
I gotta say, I just had a flashback to 24-hour event. I laughed, and for a second, I was like, "Oh no,
I'm gonna get shot."
Oh God!
No. This is
holding the mics, doing the event thing. Like, oh man,
this is
my
about
heart's
peace on earth.
Yeah,
peace
no.
on earth.
I know.
Goodwill to men. Right?
You shocked
No
the system
shocking.
that much.
No shocking systems. Little elves, Santa Claus.
I just Pavloved
That's
myself.
what this is
what
all about.
happened.
No, it's all. I know. I think I twitched for like a week every time I like even giggled at something. Be like, oh no.
Right.
So
chuckle.
yeah, that's crazy. So, are we gonna cut away and play some Home Alone 2 here in just a minute?
Yeah. I think that's what we're ready to do. We've just been mumbling and overdubbing like goofballs for the
Well,
last,
we wanted to
5-10
share.
minutes.
We wanted to share a couple more of the photos and that from Sylvania because it was my thing. I'm glad I got to share it. You gave me my time.
Right? Let's go.
You get some
rock
time
out
now to play some video games. That's one of your favorite things to do.
I'm gonna do terrible. Country Lane on FF east of Knob Noster drive-by display.
What?
Gonna have
Well,
to check
that's
that out.
gonna
Thank
happen.
you, Thunder Fox. Thank you.
That's gonna have to happen. So,
Really mad that I couldn't get this dang thing to hook up to the capture card. But old tech begets old tech.
Sure. We're we've all been safe, and obviously we've been keeping a bubble in order to do this little holiday show and hang out with all these great people online. Oh! I felt like I was having my Star Trek moment there.
Look
Like,
at the loop.
oh God, it's infinite.
Zoom in and spiral on that. Let's give everybody a
No,
ride.
it's infinite Christmas. Infinite Christmas.
Yeah!
Infinite Christmas. There it is.
Woo!
Woo!
Christmas. Merry
Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
Epileptic seizure warning. Wait a minute.
Please,
We're
how
gonna do
did-
the warning first, right?
yeah, we were supposed to do that first. Probably that was probably stupid. To do. Sorry if we hurt you. Coming in to play the game here, Jay wants.
Oh, Jay's gonna go first.
Jay,
Oh, okay.
I think Jay is gonna come in here,
All right.
and because I'm horrible. I'm gonna be horrible at this game. I can tell you already. I'm probably gonna die the most.
We got to get the soundtrack going on.
So-
this. You guys got to hear this.
Yeah, turn it up, big knob back there.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I recorded it on my cassette tapes.
Did you held the little speaker or the little mic up there
I
to
had
it?
one of those like little Tykes multicolor, ghetto microphone connected to the thing.
Right.
I also had the Walkman though that Kevin McAllister had in the second one.
So this
We're gonna get right into it.
what,
Yeah, just press start. Let's get
knock it
going.
out. Let's find out how this works.
Rock and roll.
I think that.
Oh look, what's his name? Oh jeez, what's his name?
This is the concierge of the Plaza Hotel.
From
Yeah,
This is where you need stuff.
oh man,
I believe
like a
I
goof.
believe that is the case. As a matter of fact. Okay, so and who was
Somebody
the
help me.
actor?
Tim
Who-
Curry.
Tim Curry.
Remembered
Nice,
it.
nice
Tim
call.
Curry.
Tim Curry. Tim Curry is the concierge.
Game would be in 1992,
Ooh,
Yeah, I was 4.
same year as the movie.
the same
Which
year as
was
the
the
movie.
sequel, right? Because the first one came out in 1990.
Kevin McAllister, 5 feet of trouble,
that what the
blonde
two
hair and
means?
blue eyes. Calling.
Marv.
Harry and Marv. Joe Pesci and anyone? Bueller.
Throw me on- thunder the under the bus like
Bueller.
that.
Anyone out there in the chat? Can they tell us?
Somebody.
Daniel,
Daniel
yes,
Radcliffe. Right,
Harry
right.
Potter. Harry Potter was the other. Not Ernest. That's the right.
Harry Potter and the Sticky Bandits.
Alfred.
I'm not buying that. Somebody
Alfred
throw
Molina.
a Google screenshot.
This game is dedicated to the producer,
Really?
Tim Hardy,
Tim Hardy.
who I think that might be his name.
Mhm.
He unfortunately died right before it came out.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, get out of here. Oh. Hey, 12:30 p.m.
All right.
You gotta
He's
run.
He's got me.
You gotta run.
Run!
Oh my
Run!
God, you're gonna lose all your lives right off the
Go,
bat.
go!
Oh yeah. Look at those.
Yeah. By the way, there's sentient suitcases and whatnot.
Oh, I want those.
No,
No, they're
they're
killing you.
sentient. See, look.
Ah,
I don't remember this part from the movie.
no, and with what sentient vacuums too, and literally,
All right. Step aside.
Not my friend.
well,
This is a train wreck. Here you go.
I thought I'd have.
it
allies
had
in this.
child-eating vacuums. I don't think that's very Christmassy. What is that supposed to be about?
Level 1.
Uh-oh, it's getting serious.
I think
Oh.
that's actually the concierge that was
Really?
coming after you there in the beginning.
Ooh, where did you? I missed it.
I
He's
think
making a run for it.
he's played this game.
Oh no!
I think he was at home practicing.
What? Did you see that? That was amazing. Slid right past. Oh,
Uh-huh.
oh, he's figured it out.
Yeah, that looks like
Oh,
somebody
not the
who's
doubles,
practiced
though.
the game.
The double packages, the double luggage, that kills you. Oh, did you? See, I never got to play this one.
Did you
I
for real
played
play
the
this
first
when
one.
you were a kid?
Yeah. I sure did. I had this when I was a kid. I never beat it. It was so
Yeah,
hard.
not the
You only get
mysterious
that amount
jacket,
of lives,
man.
And when you die, the whole game starts over, and that's the it. That's the end of it.
There's no extra lives.
There's no continues. At least I don't think there was. I remember. Really difficult.
He's in the zone. Look at that face. He's got like a Christmas morning face, and it's see, don't break it, don't break it, don't show off.
He's trying to do a no look, enter into the elevator there or something.
Or when do you actually destroy a grown adult's life in the game? John wants to know. Oh,
I can't really.
yes, everything in Home Alone is absolutely
Yes.
lethal. It is
brutal.
not something you should try at home at
No.
all.
Oh, see?
Yes. Three different versions of this game.
Game Boy. There was a Game Boy version of it. There was an NES version and a Super Nintendo version. Oh, there it goes. This is the Super Nintendo version, I believe, because I just hit X and it went to open the door. So I didn't play this one when I was a kid. I played the NES one and the Game Boy one.
So this is a raw. This is a raw playthrough for you, is what you're saying.
It seems like it. Seems like this is first time for me. I pushed the button. Oh, you got to keep pushing it. Yeah, that's what it was. Imagine how long that took me to figure out when I was a kid. You know how frustrating that was? And then like this would be like one of the only games you'd have, you know?
Right.
Because you didn't have like a whole library. Yeah. We got it.
Got her. Dude, like, while we're on the subject, do you remember ever renting games, right? You'd go to Blockbuster or whatever, you know, right, your local store, and rent a game, and you'd get one of those games like that you could never really figure out, and the minute you started playing, like, you get killed, and you get killed and die
Yeah.
just like instantly.
Take it back.
Yeah. This thing's broken. Yeah, that's the worst when you figure it out at the last minute. Like 5 minutes before mom's making you go back to the store. Like, just run it again. Can't we just rent it again? I just figured it out. So the object is just to keep pressing the button on the elevator. Where are you heading with this?
This dude's in the way and I got no guns. Yeah, that's bound to happen. You gotta go in these hotel rooms and collect some stuff. Eventually. Oh no!
So let me confirm, you don't have any guns. Which is quite unlike Home Alone 2, the movie.
Right, it was like Rambo 3, wasn't it, or something like that?
Well, that's Home Alone 3.
Oh, that's Home Alone 3. Sylvester Stallone is Home Alone
Yeah.
this Christmas.
I think they really tried on the third one to go over the top with the really brutal
violence.
violence.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin didn't want anything to do with that movie. That's why he's not in it. He didn't want to
and,
support the violence.
You know, as adults, and maybe this is wrong, but, you know, we see no problem with a child running through a motel, absolutely destroying things. And
well, Macaulay Culkin still does that now.
well, good for him.
He's just held responsible legally as an adult.
Oh,
I think I already mentioned it, but I'd actually never beat this game when I was a kid without using cheats.
whoa. Oh, you have is that a dart gun?
Yeah. Like the old suction cup darts.
I also can't believe you can't find a telephone in this whole city. Call your mom.
Right?
Was that even a problem? I can't even remember the second movie. Was it even a problem that he couldn't call his mom, or what was? How was he? How was he alone?
That's the thing is how is it that for like 3 or 4 movies, like these were horrible parents if they're leaving their child alone
Yeah.
that much, in not only at home but in other cities, and oh no,
Yeah. Twice.
get out of here.
Twice they
Oh,
left
no.
this kid.
No, Obi-Wan, it's my turn. Oh, I'm gonna be so bad at this. Is it what does what?
X pushes the buttons. I know that much. B. X. Where my dogs at?
Alrighty then, I'm ready.
So B. Yeah.
That's
B
perfect.
shoots whenever you get a gun, A jumps, and X pushes buttons on elevators. If you're running and you press down, that's how you slide. Sliding is good for taking out the bags, but not people. Unless you stun them, then you can get by them. I think you can just get by them, though.
Can we just say that he's a Tim Curry spectacular actor, like all through the years and then
It's not debated.
right. I'm just saying. I got a lot of love. I actually got his autograph too. As a matter of fact, Tim Curry's. You stand over me like that? Don't judge me. I'm playing a game.
Now we go
Scoot
back
up,
in the
scoot
time
up.
machine to little Brian's
There you go.
Christmas of 1992.
Get that shot.
He just got the Home Alone 2 after he'd been wanting it all year long. Santa brought it to him.
I think it was a simultaneous release with the movie, was it not?
Yeah, it came out right after the movie.
Right. So, like, I think the movie was released around Christmas time.
Yeah, that's right. Would be.
There's some pearls up there. You can get the pearls and throw them on the floor too, but you already ran by them all. And I just noticed that just now because that's the third time I've seen.
How do I slide?
You run and press down. There you go.
That was the scariest part from the movie. The luggage that
just-
jumped up and down.
You just missed the gun, man. You ditched it. It's too late now. Oh, I guess it will pop back out. I guess not. Don't forget to get the pearls when you go over the vacuum there. Just jump it. Just jump it. There you go. There you go. You can go in that gift shop too if you want. Jump
that
off the
the-
couch. Jump off the couch. There you go. Jump off the plant. Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Oh wow, the gift shop. This is like the secret level.
There's a Tommy gun up the top right. No. Don't keep shooting her. Just go get the Tommy gun. It's just a stun. There you go. Oh, she came back. That kills people because it's got a punching glove on it. So to hit them and take them out. Oh, he shoots it. Takes out the old lady.
Oh no.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Oh, now you're out. Press the shoulder buttons, I think, to change.
Got that registration guy.
There's some more darts up there. Oh!
Oh.
All right. I know the strategy I'm taking when we roll this back again.
Oh no. Oh, that sucks. Okay. I got lucky there.
Again, I'm sorry we couldn't stream this. This is off of a Retro Pi, and the only reason that it didn't work is because the monitor I use, I actually got through this old liquidation sale, and it used to be a monitor at a cash register. And so it was real basic. It's got like old VGA inputs on it. The HDMI actually converts down to VGA and then goes in. And so when I put the capture card in line, it said, busted.
Oh, Kevin.
It said, no, that doesn't work on this monitor. And so we said, well, crap.
I believe, Jay, it's your turn.
Get
It's
it,
your
buddy.
turn.
You've seen us do this. You got this.
Jay's getting serious.
No. X opens doors, A jumps, B shoots. I think the shoulder buttons might switch your weapons.
Oh, you can get the pearls. We're going to that room. Yep. Get the Tommy gun. Look, we're figuring it out. Oh, look at
There you
that.
go, there you go. I actually think you can jump up the left side the shelves and then go across and
Really?
get it. I think
Really?
so.
That was next level. Oh, yeah, takes her out. Oh, wait for it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. You got it.
Slide into those guys.
Oh, look at
Slide
that,
into those
yeah.
guys.
Nice job. Huh?
Pretty sure you can go in that news room too there. Oh, there he is. His mouth's wide open, just spewing shit. Excuse me. Whoa, why are you running back? Whoa, that's weird.
Slick shoes. Now we're in Goonies. Oh, that's a great movie. I gotta say, like,
Oh, whoa. Oh,
Oh.
goodness.
so what's your go-to Christmas cartoon every year?
Christmas cartoon?
Yeah, like, is there like one Christmas
Well,
cartoon or
there's not
show?
really no, not a cartoon or show or anything like that. I do like to watch the Rankin Bass stuff, but for me, it's Home Alone. Like I'll go watch the first Home Alone and the second Home Alone. Sometimes the third one, depending on how I'm feeling. I
Right
don't
on.
really have anything against that one. Ooh, wow, that one came out fast.
Have you if you watched John McClane yet this year already?
not yet this year, but
Really?
I'm going to, of course. Everybody knows Die Hard is a Christmas movie. If you don't
It's
think so,
undebatable.
fight me because
That's right. Prove
the-
me
the
wrong.
premise of that movie is a Christmas party.
I'm gonna go set up.
So
I'm gonna go set up somewhere with a little desk with that little sign, like the meme that says,
right.
"It's a Christmas movie. Prove me wrong. Change my mind."
Yep.
What about you, Jay?
What's that?
Is there like one Christmas movie?
Christmas movie. I mean, it would probably it's just the same collection every year. You get used to seeing Charlie Brown and Rudolph, and the Grinch.
Right on.
They kind of show them all, and
Yeah.
in growing up 80s and 90s, it's impossible not to see those every year.
Right.
I got ate by a vacuum trying to think of other Christmas shows.
One of the ones that I still catch every year, oddly, is the old Garfield Christmas from the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s. There's a bunch of them like that little one-offs and stuff that we always go back and
Yeah, the Christmas one or the Christmas cartoons never really stand out in my mind. It's always the movies.
Yeah.
Christmas Story, Home Loans, etc. So here you go. Take this from me.
So far we haven't got off the second level.
Maybe that's the trick of Home Alone 2. There isn't anything past a second level.
I see.
Just 2 levels. That's why it's called Home Alone 2. Oh, yeah. There's a winner. Muppet Christmas Carol. That I think who was it that played Scrooge in a Muppet Christmas Carol? Do you remember? Michael Caine.
Is that true?
Yeah, I believe so. Can we get a shout out on that? Anybody know who played Scrooge in the Muppets movie? I'm saying it's Michael Caine.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned the Star Wars Christmas special,
Oh, Life Day.
which is just
Oh,
about,
I got it. Hello. Called
just
that, by
about
the way.
as good as this Christmas special.
Do you know, really? Well, Life Day
Almost
is a special.
almost as good
special
as this
time of the
Christmas
year.
special.
So I don't speak any, Wookiee, so or else I would greet you in the proper tongue. So Ryan's working his way through here. What's that? Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter is kind of Christmassy.
Is there a lot of people out there that watch Harry Potter at Christmas time? Do we know anybody? Shout out if you do.
Yeah, I think that's a thing.
I tend to watch it around the holidays, or Lord of the Rings too. That's like after Christmas though. Is like Scrooge. There's another really good one. Bill Murray. You can't go wrong there. What year was Scrooge put out?
That
Not
would be
well,
in
yeah.
the 80s, sometimes Scrooged, for sure.
Sure.
80s, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Late. You're going with late '80s.
Yeah, so that'd be
Yeah.
30 years ago.
88. Nice job.
Holy cow.
Nice job.
30
That was
years
a good
ago
30
on that.
years ago on that. That's crazy. That's a lot, kids. That's a lot. Really, it's a lot.
Krampus. I mean, who gets with their family and watches one of the probably 16 versions of Krampus you could rent on the internet?
Yeah, I
Christmas time.
I always thought that was a horrible, horrible, horrible thing in some ways.
What, a Christmas horror movie?
Yeah. Or the fact that people used to tell children that there
Oh.
was this dude that would come and carry you away, beat you, and eat you, right?
You're talking about the actual story of Krampus.
Yeah, the actual
yes.
story of Krampus. That's
Mhm.
that's pretty frightening. Give me Santa any day of the week is all I'm saying. Forget Krampus on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Does anybody like Krampus out there? Do you get into Christmas horror movies?
I think I've
Is
only
that a
seen
thing for you?
one of the Krampuses
Really?
that's out there.
Ooh, Ryan.
And it's not very memorable.
It's not very memorable.
No, I don't think so. I think it was horrible.
So we had Scrooged. I got to say the original Grinch. I got to watch that every year. That's a thing.
Well, I guess Nightmare Before Christmas is.
Yeah, someone
said that
somebody on the
already?
stream.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody on the chat mentioned that.
What?
Say that again.
I said I've never watched that movie.
You've never seen A Nightmare Before Christmas?
What I found interesting is that everybody thinks, talks about it being a really big Tim Burton movie,
Yeah.
and which it is produced by Tim Burton,
Yeah.
but he really didn't have much to do with it.
Not,
I mean,
not at the end of it. He just kind of
besides
he
just the
produced it more or
overall
less. and-
idea, everybody's like, let's make it. Everybody that worked for him was like, we got to make it look like Tim Burton's.
yeah.
And he didn't. In fact, they wrote all the songs for that show before they wrote any of the dialogue.
Really? Oh, did you watch that
So,
special? Is it in
Yes,
there?
that's
isn't
where
there,
I learned that. Yeah.
The same like the movies that or the
Yeah.
toys that made us and the movies that made us. Is that the case?
Really cool show on
Really?
On the old Netflix box there.
I might have to check it. How many did they have other holiday episodes on there too? Like-
No, that was it. It was just that one, and I can't think of what it is right now, but it wasn't a holiday related movie. I don't think.
well, yes. I gotta say. So yeah, check that off the list. Back to the discussion there.
It
Absolutely
was
Nightmare
holiday
Before.
because it's the movies that made us holiday edition.
Oh well,
And,
that's enlightening, isn't it?
The other
That
movie
makes
they were
sense why it's
talking
there.
about was Elf.
Oh, Elf. Yeah.
And how it's like the new age, holiday classic.
Well, it had a lot to do, like the design in that of the look with
Yes.
Rankin Bass, so the old Rudolph and
Yeah.
and those. A
The
lot of it is
old
emulated
Netflix
throughout that movie.
show talks a lot about that. and
Really?
I was wanting to ask Rick,
Rick Goldschmidt?
what he thought about the whole controversy, whether or not they were paying homage or ripping them off directly. Maybe Rick has an opinion about that. But they had to almost had to scrap that movie because of Rankin Bass. Because they had to do things just right. With the lawyers and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there were some people asking some questions about that. Like, I have no doubt.
And do you guys, Elf? Do you consider? I mean,
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
yeah.
Elf, absolutely too. I gotta say that's on the list for me.
You
I
watch
do.
that?
Yeah, I do.
multiple times?
Oh, get out of here! I don't think I've ever seen that version of it. That's it. Actually, there's a really, really old movie from like just after World War II called "It Happened on Fifth Avenue." You ever
Okay.
seen that? It's a
No.
really, if you can find it. So it takes place with this real live hobo, right? Kind of guy, and all the people at World War II is over, and all the men have come back from the war and that, and everybody's getting married. And so this one GI falls in love with this girl. It just so happens that her father is very, very rich, right? So it's kind of that whole thing of is he going to be okay for daddy, and she's not telling daddy, and they're hiding it. Well, in comes this hobo in this weird way because we find ourselves at Christmas, right? And this hobo, every time the rich man goes to his house in Florida, the hobo goes up to the house in New York and stays there for the winter, right? And then when the rich guy comes back to New York, it stays in, he travels all the way down and would stay in his house down in Florida during the other part of the year and that. And so he would just come back and forth. Well, all these people actually find themselves stuck in the home in New York with this guy. And so it's a crazy little like World War
Hold
II.
on.
Yeah.
Stuck in New York with who?
With this hobo. I know.
I thought you were gonna wrap this back around.
No,
to
no.
One too
It happened
somehow.
on Fifth Avenue. That's the name of the movie. It's worth checking out. It's an older movie. It's one of my loves. I got to check it out like once a year. So it's just a thing.
Uh-oh. No. Let's check in with Ryan. Looks like he's battling kind of an obese Inspector Gadget.
I don't know how I'm supposed to win this. I've got nothing.
I have nothing. Oh no. Oh.
game.
Whole game starts over.
Whole game
There's
starts.
no continue. There's
Dude,
no,
give it another
well,
run. Give it another run. Okay, let's get him something. Let's get him a chair. Come on. I got to get him this little.
The piano.
Okay. Here we go. I'm grabbing you a little stool. There we go. Set up. Can I get you anything else? I feel like you got this.
So just for anybody that's tuning in, we're just playing Home Alone 2 currently, and talking about Christmas, Christmas pop culture.
Yeah.
Games and movies. If you have some we haven't mentioned yet, maybe drop them in the chat. And here pretty soon we're gonna have Rick Goldschmidt.
Historian for all things Rankin Bass.
All
so
things
Rudolph
Rankin
and
Bass.
Santa
Very
Claus is coming to
interesting.
town. That's a couple of them that I got to see every year. Rudolph,
Yep.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh gosh, just the whole load of them. There's some I'm sure you haven't even seen. Like I've got this real old version. Of course, it's only on VHS originally. Was the only like cutting of it, past TV every year. But Pinocchio's Christmas from Rankin Bass. It's got this like
yeah.
disco scene in it. Have you ever
That
seen
is
that?
a thing. No,
Everybody
I
was
have not.
dancing. It does this whole thing like disco
Really?
thing. And, It's kind of crazy.
What about this one? This one might be controversial. Do you think that Gremlins is a Christmas movie?
Ooh. It's on the list of top 100 Christmas movies.
One for you.
Okay.
Small Soldiers.
Ooh. All right. So that's a double whammy then. Is Gremlins and/or Small Soldiers or both Christmas movies?
I don't think.
Would you consider?
So
That's fair. It's centered around it.
How about
Small Soldiers is centered around Christmas. The toys.
called Jingle All the Way?
Oh, little Arnie, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Getting the Wayback Machine for that one.
Was it Turbo Man?
Turbo Man.
Was in the
Turbo
movie?
Man.
Yeah. The Santa
The
Claus.
Santa
Oh
Claus.
yeah, that one was pretty magical. Is a Christmas movie.
I
Real-
don't
well,
buy that.
Okay.
Because there's snow on the ground. I mean,
So what? You?
how about the movie Alive?
Oh,
Christmas movies. Yeah.
National Lampoon's. Yeah. Yep. I gotta watch that every time that.
The movie, the comedy Alive.
Alive, the movie Alive. You mean about the plane crash? And oh my gosh, yeah, I don't think Alive was a Christmas movie. Not in the least. That's like Friday the 13th being a Christmas movie or something like that.
Well,
Okay, so what determines a Christmas movie then? Let me ask you this: if you throw a toy in, if I throw a Christmas tree in or something like that, does that make it a Christmas movie?
I think we're getting off the mark
I
here.
think, yeah.
Gremlins.
I don't think it's like that.
He wasn't present. It was completely during Christmas. You can have a case for that. Maybe more than you could for a movie like, say, Die Hard.
It's centered around going to a Christmas party that the terrorists hijack. The whole thing is a Christmas.
That's true. It is a war on Christmas movie.
It's a war on Christmas movie. That's right. The war on Christmas. I don't think so.
Yeah.
The terrorists. Sure. And name. Hold up.
Predicting the future.
If you're a real fan, name the tower that they're in.
Nagatomi.
Nagatomi, right. Nice job. All right, so back to it. So we're defining what makes a Christmas movie. So is Gremlins
Yes.
and or Small Soldiers, do they qualify as Christmas movies?
I don't know about Small Soldiers.
Takes place during Christmas. The whole shipment of the battle toys was during a Christmas rush season. That's when they were pumping them out. It wasn't just a toy launch, you know what I mean? So.
Donut!
Donut! I want to eat donuts.
Nice Christmas donut.
Mm. Friday after next. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Oh, you know what? What was the big dude in that? He just passed away.
Debo. He was a wrestler in the beginning.
Yep.
I can't think of his name either.
Lost. He
Staged. So
Who didn't lose
got
to
the-
Hulk Hogan?
I was gonna say he lost to Hulk Hogan, but that's all staged anyways. That loss was
What?
happening. Anyway.
No.
shut your dirty mouth. What?
You just ruined my
That's enough of that.
childhood.
Ooh. Okay, so we might have a new one to add to the list this
Fat
year.
Man.
Fat Man?
It's not
Okay.
very nice. Body shaming Saint Nick,
Right.
But whatever.
Okay. Have you ever seen A Christmas Story 2?
No.
Yeah, there
I haven't
is.
seen it.
It's
But I know
was it Randy Quaid
it's
was
like a
in it.
straight to DVD movie.
Yeah, look.
Randy
Yeah,
Quaid.
I believe. Well, no, wait. Was it Randy Quaid? The same Quaid that moved across the pond? That's the.
No, Randy Quaid would be the guy who's emptying out the.
You know,
The
what
RV
what
from-
about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in.
What kind of nonsense is this? Yeah, that's impossible.
Game
Oh.
over.
Hey,
All right.
it looks like it's time to. Yeah, because I don't know that we're gonna make it through Home Alone 2. That's a hard
As
game.
far as you guys are gonna get.
Rick Goldschmidt is coming up right now. We've got him in the waiting room. We're going to talk about Rankin and Bass. Rankin and Bass. It's two different guys. We're going to find out because
We're
he's going to
getting
tell
ready
us
to
the
find out.
history about it. That's what's getting ready to
You
happen.
can ask.
That's still back with the tie. So, yeah, see, we're going to bring that in right there. Can you hear that? Right? Have you ever taken the inside of the music cards and like slipped that into somebody's jacket?
I don't know, but that's a pretty good idea.
There's a way to like do that. Oh, it's a good trick. So anybody out there watching at home, if you can find one of those, you can get somebody searching for that noise. And what is going on? That's right. What does my belly button say?
All right.
So, I
I
believe
think I'm
we got
gonna hand off the mic to Ryan.
right
Ready
on.
to rock and roll? Ready to talk to Rick? He's
We
in
are
the waiting room.
we're ready to bring Rick up and talk to him about Rudolph and Rick Goldschmidt.
Hey, hang on, give him a
I
second.
know.
Give
I
him a
know. I'm
second.
excited.
Jesus.
We haven't seen him for a while. It's been a minute.
That's the Home Alone I played.
I
Look
want
at
to find
train
out
wreck.
like I want to find out how he's been doing. Rick.
Oh. We got you? Uh-oh.
Oh,
We don't know if it's the audio on your end or our end, but we will find out.
find out here.
No, it's him. Yep, Rick Goldschmidt connected to audio. Can you hear us?
I think so.
All right.
Hey.
Let me set this up on my tripod.
Sure.
here.
Please do. Oh, man, I'm going to be sick.
I'm having a Star Trek moment. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Dude, whoa.
sweet.
That was like a magic
Whoa.
trick.
He
Hang
has
on.
his name
There's
flash up
something
on the
wrong
screen.
here.
That's
That was
professional.
awesome.
There's something wrong here.
Sure.
Sometimes when I touch the phone, it goes to that Bixby.
Ah, there we
There
go.
How's that?
How are you?
You know what? I can't hear you guys.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Is your volume turned up? I guess you wouldn't be able to hear that if I.
Yeah.
Is your volume up?
How's that?
That's awesome.
We
Can you hear
Can
us?
you hear us?
No. Somehow the audio keeps getting turned down.
Oh.
Mm.
I turn it all the way up.
It's a
And
long way from Chicago right
That's
now.
true.
Like we're
We're traveling the
out
inner
in
tubes,
Chicago.
webs, and tubes. The interwebs.
The interwebs. We're traveling the interwebs for Christmas.
The interwebs.
That's gonna be our Christmas movie we're gonna produce. The interwebs. Christmas
Is it
interwebs.
a love story or
It might
is it
be.
a
I don't know.
redemption story?
It could be a Christmas redemption story. Those are all. Those
Well,
are
I
all
mean, it's
really
a Christmas love story, a Christmas redemption
Right.
story, a Christmas
right.
oh,
story.
God.
You know, you add anything Christmas, and it's gonna be a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
would
what you
think
guys.
so.
That's what we settled on with that long-winded
Well,
debate.
To a certain extent, you've got. I mean, we could probably take a poll on that, yes, but
Right.
there's more than just adding a Christmas tree to a Christmas story.
Well,
of,
sure,
you know, of
sure.
any store of any sort of kind. I mean, you got to have some heart, right? Some good cheer, right? Some good action, some good things happening in that.
John McClane was trying to get back to his wife, and she was at a Christmas party being taken over by terrorists.
That's
I stand
fair.
by it.
Can you hear us, Rick?
Yeah.
Awesome! Yay!
That is a rad tree. Oh my god!
I know. Look at that. That's spectacular. I love you are a mega collector, sir. I saw your collection on Collector's Call last year.
Right.
That you really have some phenomenal pieces in that. That was really neat to see. How was
Yeah,
that
that-
experience? Just oddly enough.
That was the first episode that they shot, and they wanted to do the pilot with me like a year before that.
Uh-huh.
And then something happened where they shot a little like 10-minute pilot with somebody else. And then they said, we got the green light. Can we come over? And they shot the first episode here.
Oh, wow.
And then they aired it as part of the 1 hour premiere, which was cool too. So it was fun. Lisa's really nice. She's a Rankin Bass fan.
Oh, right on.
In particular, she liked the little drummer boy, and
That's awesome.
I gave her a book, and then she sent me her daughter's fully autographed Mickey Mouse Club lunchbox.
Oh,
Everyone in the cast signed it. Some of the cast already passed away. I didn't
Wow.
know that. A friend told me about it, and it was kind of cool to get that because I asked another friend who owns her Mickey Mouse airs. He actually owns her original airs, and he said that he was at a convention one time and saw her daughter, and her mother kept saying, "Go get the rest of the cast. Go get the rest of the cast." So she gave me her daughter's lunchbox because it says "Mommy" underneath her signature.
Oh, wow. That's unique.
So I
though.
thought that was cool.
Yeah. That's how long? I mean, you've been collecting all of your life, just as far as that, or where did that all start for you?
Mostly after college. Once I got married and settled in, I started adding a lot of things at
Sure.
that time. And then when I moved here as a bachelor, I just filled up the house because I had so much stuff. I wanted to display it all, but it's gotten a little out of hand. Eventually, I'm going to sell most of it probably
Sure.
because you can enjoy it for so long, and then you start bumping into stuff, and it falls over all the time, and then you're like, why did I get this stuff?
Our house looks like that here. Actually, like
Yeah.
our collection just has been growing and growing and growing. It's amazing because it's like it populates itself. Frankly, too. At the same time, like you get one piece of something, and the next thing you know, it's like the universe is bringing all of it to you. Have you ever had that kind of experience, or like?
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of my stuff came from trades with friends.
Sure.
Like I'll send out a book and they'll send me something back. And it's like, it's kind of, a lot of it's, I didn't even pay for. So it's like, and then I helped design a lot of the Rudolph figurines with UNESCO. And they used to send me a box that was like this big, full of that
Wow.
stuff. And I just I gave it to my mom and my sisters and friends and things like that. So I can't even hang on to all of the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
There's no way to archive it, and there's so much of it, you know.
Sure. That's crazy. So, what's your, just for a minute, what is like currently still the favorite thing, or one of the top favorite things that you have in your collection that you probably won't get rid of, that you'd probably keep
Well,
forever?
there's a lot of things that are one of a kinds, and we talked about that in collector's call, like the Mad Monster Party salad set that Arthur Rankin gave me. I have Arthur's script from Santa Claus is Coming to
Oh
Town.
wow.
Um, you know, there's different things like that that I probably won't get rid of, but the stuff that takes up all the space is the stuff that gets
Sure.
kind of annoying. Like you saw my Captain Action collection.
Yeah.
You know, when I first moved into this house, I didn't have all that stuff on glass shelves. I got a lot of the glass shelves from a Hallmark store that closed, and it's
Right
like
on.
it takes up so much room in the room that you're bumping into stuff, you know.
Yeah. You gotta. So we wanted to ask you too. So you are the official historian for Rankin and Bass Productions and all of that, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about that, like how that
Well,
happened? And
it happened because right out of college, I started emailing, or not emailing. There wasn't computers at that time so much. Um, I was calling up Jack Davis, who was my favorite artist, and collecting his stuff. You know, I had learned about him from a book that a friend of mine wrote. Hank Harrison wrote a book about the art of Jack Davis, or whatever it was called. And I called him up and said, hey, how do I get into the business? I sent him some of my art. He sent me some of his art. And, you know, we talked a lot. And I realized he designed Mad Monster Party, which was a favorite of mine as a kid. But I had forgotten about a lot of the Rankin Bass shows. He
sure.
also designed King Kong, the King Kong show, and the Jackson Five. And I said, whatever happened to Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass? I had never read anything about him. I never saw anything about him on TV. And he said that occasionally he still does work for Arthur,
Mm.
and that I should call Paul Coker. Now, Paul Coker Jr., who's another one of my favorite artists, he wasn't a very out there person. He was kind of a private individual. And if you wrote him, he might write you back, he might not. And I think I tried to contact him originally through the mail and I didn't get anything back. But I called him up and he said, you know, give Arthur a call in Bermuda.
Oh,
So I did. Arthur lived in New York and Bermuda. He split his time between the two. So I called Arthur up and said there should be a book. And he was like, send me 2 chapters. So I did. And then he liked them and he sent me a little tape of his life story. And then I started scrounging up things like press photos from Hollywood collectible shows, toys out of the toy shop, because eBay wasn't really around at that time.
sure.
So I scrounged up every little piece of Rankin Bass history I could find. And then it became a bigger work. And he liked it. And I just kind of became the historian. There was no one to pick up that torch. And
Yeah.
he appreciated it so much that I really felt like I was part of the Rankin family, you know,
Yeah.
like one of his kids or something, because he did have one kid, Todd, who doubled in some of the movies and even did the voice for Pinocchio originally.
Oh wow.
And so he was sort of involved in the entertainment business. His other son, Gardner, wasn't that interested in it, but nobody was really interested in his career and documenting his career. And that's what I did. And he actually used my first book as a resume because he was still trying to do productions
Yeah.
like The King and I and Santa Baby, which he did do after my book came out. And then I tried to get an Andy Williams Osmond's Christmas special done and laid some of the groundwork for that. But that never happened. And, you know, the business had changed so drastically by that time that Rankin Bass was pretty much done. But then Arthur looked back and said, hey, if I'm remembered for Rudolph and Frosty, Santa Claus is coming to town, I'm happy, you know?
Yeah.
I even painted models of Sam the Snowman and the Heat Miser and Snow Miser, both for Arthur and Jules, as gifts and various Rudolph characters and so forth. So they really loved what they did and appreciated what I was doing. And I've been doing it ever since. This has been the busiest year so far.
Yeah.
And I can see why. It's just people are home, locked down. Some of them are depressed. You know, they want to read about things that they grew up with as a child.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy off the hook busy this season. And I'm grateful for that because so many small businesses are suffering, you know, and I don't support this pandemic in the way that, you know, I'm going to fall in line and do whatever they tell me to do, and you should do it too. I'm not like that. I support small business. And, you know, I've been going out eating every night at different restaurants and trying to keep them open. So hopefully, you know, it'll turn around pretty soon.
Sure. I think we will. I've got a couple of your books right here, actually, that I wanted to show off. Your autograph is up on our wall permanently here. Rick had signed an autograph, both of these for me. One is Mad Monster Party, and then, of course, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You've written, I mean, several books, though, on the making of all of the specials and that. How many books total do you have right now on all of this stuff?
Well, there's 6 books, a 6-pack,
Nice.
and a couple of them we revised greatly. Like the first book started out as a 200-page book. Now it's over 400 pages. And, you know, we changed the cover on the Rudolph. You had the new cover there. And there's a couple other books that we added pages to the Arthur Rankin scrapbook. The last 2 books I did, I think, are probably my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
The Making of Santa Claus is Coming to Town and The Daydreamer, and Frosty the Snowman scrapbook, the 50th anniversary. And the reason that I like them so much is it includes a lot of my appearances, including Retrograde.
Right on.
In fact, the picture of, I think there's a picture of you and I in the Frosty book. So, I mean, that's what's cool about the last 2 books is it's not just about Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Frosty. It has some of the puppets we found, like Mortimer Snurd and Rudolph puppets and Willie McBean puppets and all kinds of things. Then it has pictures of me with friends and celebrities and different places I've been. It has artwork by friends of mine, Shag and a whole bunch of different friends that we've met along the way. And also in 2020, my business partner, Wes Scarlett, who was the co-author on the last 3 books, he passed away suddenly at the beginning of this whole pandemic. He had a heart attack. And
I remember that.
For whatever reason, I pushed to get these last 2 books done. In other words, Wes would have preferred to stretch it out and maybe wait till next year. But for some reason, I just kept thinking, we got to get this done. We
Yeah.
got to get this done. And in fact, the Frosty book was late. It was supposed to be out before Christmas. He went into the emergency room with some heart problems, and he was late on getting it to the printer because of that. They kept him at the hospital and so forth. And then when we got it to the printer, they didn't have it printed until the beginning of January. So really in this year, and we didn't have it done for last Christmas. So this is the first Christmas that the Frosty book's actually available.
Wow.
But there was some reason that I felt an urgency that we needed to get this done. And I'm glad that we did, because it's kind of his legacy, you know?
Yeah.
People will remember him, and he's a big part of the book. His family's pictured in the book. And it's just, I just feel glad that we got that thing done.
Yeah.
The last two.
Well, I think that is one of the things that is defining of, for instance, all of Rankin and Bass's specials, and that is the family, the creating the sense of magic, creating that sense of wonder in that, and bringing everybody together. Like, that was always a thing in my house, because they only came on one time a year, right? You couldn't see them just any day. And we'd all gather together because, tonight Rudolph's coming on, and tonight's, Frosty's coming on, and that, and how much joy they brought in that way through the years,
Well, the funny thing is, the reason that Arthur Rankin Jr. and I hit it off so good was that he was a driven person.
Yeah.
In other words, of the duo of Rankin Bass, and of all the people that worked on the specials that made them last for over 50 years, Arthur made those specials get on the air. In other words, if ABC said, we need Santa Claus is coming to town by December 14th, and they only had a year to do it, he was the one that was saying, we got to get this done. No matter what. If we have to take a shortcut here, let's do it. We got to get this on the air. And that's how I am. It's like, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And also, Arthur was the art director at ABC Television. So he appreciated art, and he appreciated Jack Davis and Paul Coker and myself, because we were creative people that looked at things a different way. In fact, I looked at my books a different way. I made them very visual rather than a lot of text and hardly any pictures,
Yeah. So tell me, do you know how they came up originally with this type of animation, like how they made the decision that they were going to start making this, different specials in that way, and using the puppetry and that, how they landed that way on that? Or
Well, the Animagic stop motion in Japan came about because Arthur was seen as a executive in the business, and there was a Washington delegation that was led to him, he said, where they took people from New York and brought them to Japan to show them what they could do in animation. And Arthur saw the stop motion and fell in love with it. And he said, we need to do this in the States with Pinocchio, because Pinocchio was Arthur's favorite Disney movie. So he also did some commercials with the stop motion. The commercials were what financed his business. Little short commercials. Some of them were live commercials, just, holding up graphics and whatever in the early days of television. But he did the New Adventures of Pinocchio in Japan, and he did that with bank loans. And at the end, he ran out of money, and he had to borrow 60 grand, I think it was. It was either 30 or 60 from one of his best friends, who he never forgot. his best friend was at the memorial with me, and I asked him about it. So he borrowed like 60 grand to finish off Pinocchio, and had his friend Donald Gladstone not lent him the 60 grand, there never would have been Rudolph.
Wow. Wow.
So Rudolph kind of developed off of the Pinocchio and Wizard of Oz series, in that they didn't like financing that way. They didn't like going to banks and friends and borrowing
Yeah.
money and all of that. So they got General Electric involved. And the guy at General Electric had worked at Montgomery Ward's prior. And he knew Rudolph was a famous, well established thing that kids loved. So the GE guy got together with Arthur and another guy, Larry Romer. His name's in the credits as a director, but
Mhm.
he didn't direct Rudolph. Tad Moshinaga in Japan really directed the animation. Larry Romer had a connection at NBC.
Okay.
So they had NBC and GE. They got this thing on the air, and they thought it would last for 2 years, advertising house appliances for GE. But it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what opened up the door for all the other things that followed, was that Rudolph Animagic special. And the Animagic, for me, it looks very vintage, very
Yeah.
simple, very vintage. It has the glass ornaments and, the real simple characters, the simple elf characters who John Favreau based Elf on.
Yeah.
More on that in a minute. But it's the iconic version of Christmas. Now you can talk about Charlie Brown, which I love. You
Yeah.
could talk about the Grinch, which I love. But Rankin Bass's specials have Santa Claus,
Yeah.
elves, reindeer, snowmen,
Yeah.
all the things that we used to see in old advertisements. Santa smoking cigarettes, drinking Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
but
That was gonna be my
they
next
had
thing.
no personality. They
Yeah.
had nothing. As far as a personality, ho, ho, ho was about it for Santa.
Yeah.
And then Rudolph comes along with writer Romeo Muller, and he makes Santa this kind of crabby character that, doesn't really want to participate in Christmas so much. And a lot of people say, oh, he was mean and he was, abusive or whatever. No, he was a complex character like all of us.
Yeah.
You might have a bad Christmas because a lot of things go wrong. You might not be happy one day, or you might be crabby one day and happy the next, like he is at the end.
Sure.
He's ready to roll, and he's fat. He's happy. So, I mean, these are complex, very dynamic characters with personality galore. Sam the Snowman,
Yeah.
and you got the Heat Miser and Snow Miser. You got Kris Kringle, Mickey Rooney. You got Jimmy Durante and
Yeah.
Jackie Vernon as Frosty. When you think of Frosty, you think of Jackie Vernon.
Yeah.
You think of that happy birthday. You don't think of like just a bland snowman anymore because of what Rankin Bass did with them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We've got in our collection, we've got Burl Ives with Sam the Snowman. I got it's got the original paperwork from NBC behind it. I guess it was like on the 5th showing, the 5th year. The book plate that I actually got from you with Jack Davis and Paul Coker up there, and of course Jingle and Jangle is up there and signed, and some others. Vast array of the toys in that too from way back, or from actually more. There wasn't really anything put out toy wise when those specials came out through the years. Was there? Or?
No, not until my first book. In fact, here's the story on it. My book was taken on a plane to Japan by an executive from a company called Stuffins.
Mm-hmm.
Stuffins looked through my book and particularly the merchandise section and realized none of this stuff has been merchandised. None of it.
Yeah.
So he presented to CVS pharmacies, here's
Mm-hmm.
what we should do. We'll put out 2 beanbag dolls of Rudolph characters each week for 8 weeks. And you'll have this full set of Rudolph characters. And they loved it. So the guy from Stuffin sent me 3 sets of the characters before the first one even hit the
Oh,
stores.
wow.
And he said, show them to your kids. Let me know what you think of them and this and that.
Free
So I
toys.
was involved with the merchandising from day one. The next year, they had Rudolph and Frosty and Santa Claus is coming to town and the little drummer boy. And they had everything, tree skirts, slippers, ornaments, all kinds of different things. And that's around the time I got called up by UNESCO at one of my book signings. And they said, why don't you come in and look at our showroom and see if you think you can be involved in this in
Yeah.
any way. And I did and helped design some of the figurine lines. So it's just exploded from there. You can go in any store, Menards or Walmart or anywhere, and you'll find some Rankin Bass related stuff. So it's kind of interesting how it really took off from that was 1998, the
Yeah.
year after my book came out. That stuff started coming out.
On the UNESCO figures, way back when I was a journeyman plumber, okay? But every week when those came out, every week I'd get paid, right? And I'd have to go buy one of the figures until I had the whole set that year.
Wow.
So I've got them all like kind of stashed away. I get them out every once in a while and show them off.
What's funny is the value on those, since they stopped making them, has more than quadrupled. I see some of them online now for almost $200, and they were only like $25
Yeah.
originally. They weren't that crazy. Some of them were more, some of them were less, depending on the size of them and what they were.
Sure.
But they've really gone up in value. The Fred Astaire, there was a Fred Astaire snow truck that
Yeah.
actually functions with SD Kluger, and you press the button on the horn and it plays the song. That went from being a $30 item to being a $400 item now.
Wow.
So it depends on what it was, how long it was out, and how bad people want to get it. And
Yeah.
we see them in my books, and then they start looking for this stuff, and it's pretty incredible how in a short period of time it really went up in value.
Yeah. Now we've seen that from our end too with the video game market. All the old school consoles and stuff. All of that, those kinds of prices have just
Right.
some of our parts
Doubled
of
and tripled.
yeah, it's been crazy. How
Yeah, there was a collector's call on that I saw in the first season on video games. So I saw there were some things that, like one of them came with a deodorizer scent thing that if it was still in the package, it was worth a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
money. So,
yeah.
I saw some of that.
I don't know if you ever caught this is a little off topic, but speaking to that, remember the whole it was an urban legend about Atari, and Atari dropped all of the game
ET cartridges into
ET
the
cartridge
dump. Yeah,
right
yeah.
in the dump. And then that guy came along, and I think he spent like $51,000, right, to dig them up. But I think he made like $200,000 to $300,000 because people wanted that piece of history. And so literally a video game from the dump, like they're being traded for, a couple $100 here or there. It's just crazy when you think about it. So, but back to the topic too, I was curious, how many of the original puppets do you know? How many of those still exist and are around, or how many of you had the privilege of coming across too, out of curiosity?
Well, here's the story on that. I've appeared with a lot of them, and I own 2 of them that I sold to people that can restore them. and still lend them to me. So that's a good way of selling them. I just participated in the auction of Rudolph and Santa, and I helped with the catalog. It was a nice catalog, and they sold for 368,000.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, that's incredible.
I've known all the owners prior to this person buying them. Unfortunately, there's a confidentiality statement where unless the seller or the buyer discloses that he got them, they can't say anything about it.
Sure.
So right now, I don't know who bought them and if they'll share them, because that's the main question I get when I go on radio shows and things like that. You know, who bought them and will they share them? I don't know. But there are more than those two. Now, if you go on Wikipedia and Internet Movie Database and places like that, you'll find all kinds of wrong information. You
Sure.
can always tell when they didn't read my books or they don't own my books because they get everything wrong. They say, oh, there's only 2 puppets that survived from Rudolph. That's not true. In my last couple books, the ones I was talking about earlier, we found another Santa. We found another skinny Santa. We found some reindeer and different puppets from all of their movies, mostly in Japan, because the movies were made in Japan. So unless Arthur said fly him back to New York or took him back to New York, they weren't coming back to the States. So I have friends that own some of them in California. Actually, Screen Novelties, who restored Santa and Rudolph, they own about 7 puppets now. I helped them get some of them, and I sold them one of mine. And they got Smokey the Bear, and they got 2 from the Daydreamer, a couple from a movie called Marco, which is really good, and I think 1 or 2 others. And then another friend of mine has some in New Jersey. So when I do Chiller Theater, he's brought them there.
Oh, wow.
So that fans could take pictures with them and so forth. So I've been lucky in that regards to have been able to share them with the fans. And even the 2, the Rudolph and Santa that just sold, for 3 years, my friend Kevin Kreis owned them. And we brought them to Wizard World, Borders Books, Amazing Fantasy Books, Brookfield Zoo. We did a show in Ohio, Mid-Ohio Con. He brought them to Florida and San Diego Comic-Con and places like that. So people have seen them. I just wish there was a way, you know, they could be in some centrally located museum that people could see them. But that in this world now, I'm kind of worried about museums. You know, some of them might not be able to make it. You know, Roy Rogers had a wonderful museum with all of his stuff that closed years ago. And that collection got broken up and split up. And James Dean is another. I went to his family's farm and spent time with Marky, who was like James Dean's cousin, but he was like a brother. And a lot of the stuff was all there, but it had to be broken up because the museum closed. So the reality of it is I don't think there will be a Rankin Bass museum. It'll have to be kind of a traveling thing. Like I just put part of my collection in the Orland Park Public Library, and that's why Fox News and WBBM Radio and some other outlets have been covering that this year. Because there's very few things like that people can go to and see cool stuff. You know, everything's getting canceled and conventions are getting canceled and even conventions in the next year. And it's getting kind of crazy. So
yeah, we're looking to kind of do some more things, try to work around some of those things where we can at least get people together online and you know, talking about what they love and being able to show and share. And We always
Right.
love events like that and being able to, share with
Right.
one another, but with all the geeky, wonderful things from your childhood and that. Like, so,
Well,
do you have a question?
You seem to be handling this just fine.
I've been waiting.
I've been learning.
I've been waiting to talk
Like,
to Rick all night
taking-
long. I
taking
was like,
notes mentally,
please, please,
like-
please, please. I can't wait.
Oh, we've got some questions in the chat.
Hey, we have
I
some
will read
questions
those
from
questions in the
chat,
chat.
so let's-
What do we got here?
What do we got?
All right. Thunderfox Music says, I'm curious to know how long it took to make a scene of stop motion from Rudolph.
well, the process was crazy complicated, and when you look at it, you know it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, everything was moved frame by frame by frame, and from the photos that I've seen, there were different sets set up on tables. And like, for instance, the castle scene, I've seen pictures of Arthur and Tad and some other people by the castle. And each animator would have different scenes to work on with different characters simultaneously so that they could get this TV special done in an 18-month time frame is what it took.
Right, so they weren't consecutively shooting. They were just everybody concurrently all at the same time.
Right.
That's
And a
cool.
lot of people say, why did they do Frosty and cell animation? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Well, it really came down to time, and Rankin Bass wasn't a studio in itself. It was subcontracted to different Japanese studios. Mushi did Frosty, and Toei did like Mouse on the Mayflower, and I believe Cricket on the Hearth. And then you had the stop motion studio, which started out at Dentsu, and then it became something called MOM. And I mean, all these things took a lot of time, a lot of hard work. And, Rankin Bass had specials on all three big networks at the same time.
Wow.
CBS, NBC, and ABC. Sometimes they were shown against each other. And then they had to change the characters' look for the different networks too. Like Frosty's Winter Wonderland was on ABC. Frosty the Snowman was on CBS. So the first Frosty had Karen, Hinkle, Hocus Pocus, but
Yeah.
they couldn't be in Frosty's Winter Wonderland because it's a different network on a different channel, So they had to come up with, the Parson and Andy Griffith and all of that. And they always changed the look of the Santa characters and everything. So there was different reasons for them doing different styles and working with different studios, but everything took at least a year, even 18 months for Rudolph. And, it was very complicated. It wasn't something that I would want to do. I wouldn't want to be a stop motion animator just because of I'm impatient. I don't have that kind of patience. Arthur said they've slept by their dolls.
Wow.
Sometimes. If they got wrapped up in a scene and they didn't want to move the thing and start over again, like they would actually just sleep there on the set and start up again when they woke up. I don't know how it was all done. It seems kind of crazy to me, but it's such a big part of Americana too,
Yeah.
to be shot in Japan. You would have no idea that was done in Japan because of the personalization that was brought that I mentioned before. That's really the thing that Rankin Bass, that and the writing, the personality and the writing was special. Romeo Muller wrote these underdog characters that everybody identifies with, and they triumph in the end, and the villains get reformed. The story, you can watch it over and over and over again and still enjoy it. Where other things, it's not so much, you
Yeah.
know.
Kind of one and done.
It's missing the heart. It's missing the warmth. It's missing the quality that Romeo Muller could bring into these things.
So I got a follow up question regarding the production of the
Sure.
puppets. I guess we're calling them. I say that because up until just a few years ago, I always thought it was claymation. It was all clay. It was all So, in regards to those puppets, how exactly were they built? Do you know what the insides of those look like? Were they just frames that were posable and could do, X?
Well, in my Rudolph book that Brian showed, there's a diagram of how Rudolph was made, and I got the diagram from the puppet maker herself, Kyoto Kita, and there was wires inside. Later on, there was armatures, like Nightmare Before Christmas, where they have ball joints and they're all these real intricate things. But back then, it was more wire, wood. They would start with wood. They would carve wood. They would paint it. They would add hair. They would add real clothing, like a seamstress would make a suit up for someone. They would use those clothing and just cut it for small dolls. And you're right. Everyone calls it claymation. And I think that comes from Gumby and Pokey and Davy and Goliath, which I appeared with all those puppets in New Jersey. They're sort of in the same genre. So my friend owns them. I said, let's bring them out, and everyone will love seeing those too. But they really got into more intricate puppet work with Rankin Bass. And that's because of the Japanese. These guys were wizards.
Still are.
Yeah.
And some people say, oh, it looks herky-jerky and, primitive compared to today's computer stuff. You know what? To me, it's way better, because there's all kinds of tricks they use to make a puppet float in the air or water or whatever. They did some stuff with those things, like when Winter Warlock is melting from the ice and it turns to water and then he's happy. That's an incredible scene. I don't know how they did it. They used tricks. They couldn't use computers. But to me, computer doesn't have the same warmth and quality to it. It never did. Even Arthur said that before he died. There's something, it's cold. It doesn't capture what we have.
I think the other part of it is too, frankly, it's like toys coming to life, and what kid doesn't want their toys to come to life, right? Or live in that world. I mean, for me, like from the specials and that, Rudolph in particular, just the whole scene where they've tucked in and they've gone to bed, the sound, of the wind whispering through and that. But that little house, like in my brain, was like, that was comfort. That was a safe little spot, even though they were in danger, and lived out like that for me for years, But they came to life. They come to life every year,
Yeah.
In that way. And so. Fine.
Yeah, the thing about it for me as an artist and a collector and all of that, the look of it is really important to me. It has to have a cool vintage look, and Rankin Bass has that look.
Yeah.
That's why people they actually want to go beyond toys and Enesco figurines, and they want an exact replica of those puppets that just sold. And we talked about that years ago. Kevin Christ wanted to do that. But there's a problem with some of the people that are involved with merchandising the Rudolph thing, which I go into more in my books and also in my recent articles. I got a magazine today, I'll show you, Retro Fan.
Oh,
Just
wow.
came in,
Well, it's our new magazine.
and
Just kidding.
it's got a very detailed Rudolph article that I did, which goes into some things that I didn't talk about in my book. So I would recommend to pick up, it's issue number 12, and then in issue number 17, I'm writing a Mad Monster Party article
Oh, wow.
for
So
this
on
magazine
that
as well.
subject, we have a user in our chat, Yi Honka, that wants to know what your favorite Mad Monster character is.
Oh, I like them all, but Francesca is probably the coolest female character in Rankin Bass. And they kind of, since Harvey Kurtzman was involved in Jack Davis, they made her kind of look like a little Annie Fanny from Playboy, which they were both involved with, and other characters like that. You know, sort of a sexy, over the top kind of character. But I also like Felix too, because he's this nerdy character that is oblivious to everything. And there's good comedy in that. And I love all the classic monsters too. So that was Mad Monster Party was the reason that I really got into doing Rankin Bass work. Was I love that movie so much, and I love Rudolph so much that it brought me in. You know,
Yeah.
like I was passionate about it enough to want to find everything. In fact, I was the first person to find the soundtrack that never was issued. And Maury Laws, when I asked him to send it to me, he was like, "Why do you want it?" And I'm like, "I love that music, and I really want to get a copy of it." And he's like, "Okay, well." And then he started to realize how much I really cared about his work. And that's why we became friends, and we went out to dinner a few times, and I recorded interviews with him and so forth.
Wow. That's amazing. We thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Do we have any other questions from the?
Any other,
Hey,
chat
Anybody?
questions?
You know, I mentioned earlier about the elf.
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
John Favreau story.
There's a Netflix program on now that I helped with some months back called "The Movies That Made Us," and its focus is elf. And the production company licensed one of my Arthur Rankin and Jules Bass photos from my book and said, "We talk about Rankin Bass in this show." And some friends of mine have been seeing it and messaging me saying, "John Favreau, the director, he talks about bringing in a big Rankin Bass book. Is he talking about your book?" And I said, "Yeah, that's the show I helped with." Yeah, he must have had my 15th anniversary edition of the Enchanted World of Rankin Bass when they did Elf, or the
Yeah.
first version even. And he based the costumes off of the Rudolph costumes.
Yeah.
You can tell that, but he says that he wanted to pay a homage to Rankin Bass, and they even had a snowman talking at the beginning. I remember that was similar. So
Yeah. That's spectacular. That's awesome.
I have a question I just thought of. Do you have any attachment at all to that Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode where they did it in the Rankin Bass style? Is that
Did you ever
was that
see
just somebody paying homage, or is there any kind of connection there?
no, there was a young director who came to visit me some years ago. His name's Jerry, and he came. I don't know what year it was, around 2008 maybe. And then I met him when the History Channel flew me out to California to be on The Real Story of Christmas, which is something they air every year on the History Channel. He told me he was working on that show.
Right
He
on.
was either an editor or director. I don't know what he was doing on that show, but that might have been his suggestion. to do something in the Rankin Bass
Right on.
style because my kids were with me and they had watched that show. I never saw it really,
Mm-hmm.
but they knew the show, and he said, "I'm working on that show." So that's probably how that developed.
Right on. That's awesome.
Well, thanks for spreading them around through the years too. We really appreciate it. Like for
yeah.
you know, all the little touches that you've ended up having with Rankin and Rankin Bass Productions and that through the years. That's amazing.
It's nice that it blossoms into other things because it isn't just me signing and sending out books. It's me going to conventions and giving. I gave 5 panels at Dragon Con 2 years ago in Atlanta. And their panels, people book them on their phone, and there's like I don't know how many thousands of people are at this convention, but they show up like a movie theater.
Yeah.
And they fill all these seats. And then they have questions like you have. And it's kind of cool because everybody's so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And then they rate your performance. Like, did they enjoy it? Did they learn anything? And this and that. And that's how you get to come back. So it's just been like an incredible experience for me in that you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
We have 3D photos now with a company called Artivision, and he sends me the samples, and I'm going to get a couple samples before Christmas of some new ones he did, and he prints them on glass. So things like that are kind of cool. They keep you going and spark your energy because you can get kind of tired of shipping out packages like I do. I'm actually up till like 3-4 in the morning getting packages ready for the mailman to pick up in my door and at my mailbox. It's like kind of surreal to work in that way.
Yeah.
But it's also, I'm thankful for it. It could be a lot worse where I'm not getting any orders and wondering how am I gonna pay my bills or something. So it's a scary time, but I think that's what keeps bringing people back to the Rankin Bass shows. There's such fun, memorable childhood memories and all of that kind of thing. And Romeo didn't write for just kids. That's the cool thing. He wrote for us. He wrote for grandparents. It's not a kiddie show. Any of them. They all have something for someone.
That's spectacular. I agree. I hope that they continue and outlast all of us, for real.
It seems like they're poised to, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hopefully another 50 years. For sure. That would be awesome. Hey, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. We want you to know that there's a little piece of you that hangs right up on the wall in our house every day. You're a part of our collection in that. We really enjoyed when we got to meet you. I had kind of known you online for about 10 years, I think, or whatever, following you in that. And so it was a real pleasure getting to meet you then and having you come back with us tonight. So
that was fun being in Missouri there.
Yeah.
Because I've never been, and it was neat to see the college there and the whole layout and everything. I had a lot of fun. One other thing I should mention is that the website, when Wes passed away at miserbros.com, shortly before he died, we were going to switch the soft cover, but financially it didn't make any sense because it wasn't much of a difference in price. So he left soft cover up on the site, but it's actually hard covers that you get when you order. So a lot of people need to know that because otherwise they're thinking, what am I paying so much money for a soft cover? I'm going to try to find the hard cover.
Well, that's what.
But it is a hard cover.
That's what I've got one of the hard cover. Can you take my mic for a minute here? Let's show everybody at home here. Hold on.
You are terrible at this.
I know.
I can
But
tell
you
this is the
should see-
first time
you
you've
have
opened.
to see like this is how Rick signed the book here and that. He has the most amazing script. If can you get
Yeah,
on
some
that?
people think it's like a doctor's writing or something, but because I'm an artist, it like evolved over the years to these curly Q kind of things. And I wrote that book in 2001, and the funny thing about it was I was the same age as Robert May was when he wrote his original Rudolph book, and we both come from the same area. I'm in Oak Lawn, and he lived in Evanston, Illinois, which was on the north side of Chicago. So it's kind of funny that things happen like that. And also, I fell into this as sort of a calling.
Yeah.
I had no aspirations to be an author or historian.
Sure.
So there has to be some reason that I fell into it, and it wasn't intentional.
Sure. Well, we're glad to have you. I've always enjoyed your books. If everybody out there that's watching and tuning in, you can go to miserbrothers.com, correct?
Right.
And you can take a look and order some of Rick's books, and obviously keep him up very late packaging your books to get them to you. You mentioned Ralph May just real quick. This is also in our collection right here, and it's actually signed. It's signed by Ralph May too on the inside. So,
Really?
yeah.
Here, give me your mic. Go ahead.
I,
Show the.
I
name.
found this out east. It was signed to Jackie some years ago or whatever. So, and I've had this in my collection for a while.
That is neat, to have it signed by him, because Robert L. May, he started the whole thing, and then his brother-in-law Johnny Marks, who was friends with Arthur, helped in getting it on television. But the funny thing is, all the characters that we really love, Hermie and Yukon, Humble, and the Misfit Toys, those were all created by Romeo Muller and Tony Peters, which I write about in this article and all the other articles. And to me, they deserve most of the credit, because had it not been for the TV special, we probably wouldn't be talking about Rudolph today.
Yeah.
The generic version of Rudolph doesn't sell that well. I've seen, merchandise where it's not the Rankin Bass version, and it just doesn't have that same kind of appeal that Hermie the dentist does.
Yeah. Oddly enough.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again. Thanks for hanging out with us, Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you, Rick.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. You have hopefully a wonderful 2021, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon. So thanks again. We appreciate you.
You take care.
Again,
Good luck, buddy.
if you want to order one of Rick's books in that, you can go to miserbrothers.com and check them out there, and they're pretty reasonably priced, and they're packed full of all kinds of good stuff. I mean, pieces of the old scripts back behind the scenes of all the animation.
Apparently, there's a total puppet skeleton that we can check out. I
want to try to.
I
play
didn't
with
realize
that
there was a
and remake
diagram in there, so I'm gonna look at that later.
Absolutely. So we're gonna take just a short break, and we're gonna be back with another little holiday treat here. So to kind of play us out, what? No.
Are you ready to rock and roll?
You ready to rock and roll?
All
right. We're gonna do this live
I
then.
tell you what,
We're gonna do it live.
with the. Let me just hype this up.
Let's cue this music.
Let's get ready for the musical
Oh,
styling.
Can we get a little low piano playing while we're talking?
Jay.
Can we get that? Okay, a little bit. Real low.
I don't hear the music.
That's like supersonic low.
Can you hear it?
Is it?
While you're giving out your
Cody out in Cleveland, Ohio, showing us Ralphie's bedroom there. Huge shout out for that. That was pretty rad. I'm a little sour that we weren't holding the statue with the piece of wood in it, but
Have I told you that my nightlight, my
you got the
bedside lamp,
the
is
leg,
lamp.
yeah, that's classy. Yes, you have told me that before. Special thanks to Dave Spees out there at Children's Wonderland, also in Sylvania, Ohio. Again, thank you.
Shout
Thanks for
out.
being
Thank
here.
you for everybody out there for volunteering for so many years to keep that kind of thing going.
It sounds like a real special community, and I really can't wait to visit it potentially next year. And finally, once again, Rick Goldschmidt for sending it home and educating me again on some more great facts in the world of Rankin Bass. I've never seen what was it, Mad Monster Party, and I feel ashamed of
Oh my
myself
gosh,
now.
yeah.
Like I feel like I need to go find this and watch it.
See, like if you asked me about Halloween, that's one of those that I
Yeah,
gotta watch.
never.
every year, like-
Well, see, I was never really a Halloween kid either. It was like get a costume, get some candy. Traditions be danged. So.
Sure. No, I'm following you. So we hope that everybody has a safe holiday season. We hope that we get to see you this new year. Hopefully soon we'll be able to open the house back up and let people walk through and come hang out.
Hey, real quick, who was that follower that got us in the middle of the stream? Because that cracked me up. That was funny. I tried. Thank
Good
you for
job.
following us
Tried.
because you made me laugh.
You did more than try.
I forgot
you
all
succeeded.
about that.
I
zombie
succeeded
sound.
is what they should be.
Just
named.
entirely forgot. Like I set everything up. Donations are there. Bits are there. If somebody, man, had no idea that
Hey,
let's
right
see,
on.
5, I think, or no, excuse me, I think 100 is the text-to-speach minimum there. But so thank you for the one bit, though. I appreciate that. We appreciate your support. We couldn't do this without you tuning in to our shenanigans, really. That's all they are, just shenanigans. People trying to do cool things.
We're gonna get all the stuff that we've been able to get from Santa and collect from all of our other secret Santas out there to Refuge on Ming. We really love all the stuff that they're doing down there with folks. Obviously, there's a lot of things from our house and that we've talked about this before. You can see other stuff that we've done because we're very into our communities and we're really about community. So we hope that this holiday season that you continue to get involved with your community, you continue to support places like the Refuge on Ming or the animal shelter, that you continue to reach out to people and do your part and make it a very, very Merry Christmas and a very good next year. So
Be kind to each other.
Be kind
That's
to one
all,
another.
That's all it takes.
So Jay, you gotta.
I think we went long enough for the whole thing to
You got a bop?
die,
You got a bop? Oh, you just killed
Oh.
it?
Oh. I think I killed it. Is it dead?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, music. to
Bring
my
the music
ears.
up. Bring it up. Yeah, that's right. Yes, let's do this.
Hey, I just
old
wait
school
real quick,
style.
real quick.
Do a little song.
Let me give this to the world real quick since we've been making this our meme for the animals.
For the animals.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
I'm just going for it.
Do it, brother.
Get it.
Play us out.
Be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please bring some snow and some mistletoe and presents by the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for sea will find me with a love like me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dream. And I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dream.
Booyah! Woo!
Heck yeah.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See you in the next year.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. And a Happy New Year.
The happy New Year.
Man, way to send it out, Jay. Dang, I got
Nice job.
goosebumps. That's a great
That
bit.
was awesome. That was really awesome.
All right. Thanks for watching. We hope you tune in. I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but we're live every single Saturday, whether it be video games or these special shows. We try to do special shows on a bi-weekly basis, but every Saturday, guaranteed, big show or not, we're going to be live. So tune in, whether it be video games again or special shows, and we've got more programming coming as well. So
You can hang out with us any Saturday then. right?
any
Correct? Is
Saturday,
that-
any and every Saturday.
Say, Rudolph says goodbye. Roll the music. Roll the music.